Why, hello everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Base Level Podcast. I am your host, Karitoru, or Brandon, and I'm here with my two normal hosts, Zach.
Hello? Normal?
Yeah, normal, like people who are normally here. Amanda,
Hello.
and a new member of the podcast. That's what kind of why I said normal. Kane, introduce yourself.
I'm definitely not normal, but hello, my name is
Yeah,
Kane.
well,
I'm
Whoa!
18 years
Kane!
old, and I love mostly anime and gaming culture very so deeply much. And yeah,
Mm.
that's basically my introduction.
all right. Well, speaking of new things in the world and new things in our podcast, what do you guys think about the new Pokemon game that came out, Pokemon Arceus?
First of all, from first glance, obviously it looks beautiful. I am a little
Right.
bit disappointed that they didn't give it the whole Breath of the Wild treatment, but like the fact that they had an open world Pokemon game is like really impressive, honestly.
Yeah, I fully agree. How about you, Zach? What are you thinking?
Ladies and gentlemen, can we get some claps for Kane, though, please? Hello?
Yeah, that very true.
There we
Yeah,
go.
get him
All
in.
right,
Get him in
welcome,
here. Get him in
welcome.
here.
But for me, I have not been able to play the game yet. Sadly, Amazon was like, haha, you don't get your fucking package, so I've not been able to touch the game. But from what I've seen, it looks very interesting. And from what I've heard, this is also the first game where the actual point is to catch them all. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. I don't know when
Yeah,
it's coming.
meanwhile-
Hopefully it's coming eventually. I want to play the game so desperately. Please, Amazon.
Public
Meanwhile,
message.
for me, I have literally no idea what the game's about. I've seen no footage of it, not even a trailer. I just know it's open world. I didn't even know it was like Breath of the Wild type feel to it, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm the only one here. I know I am actually the only one here in the podcast that actually owns the game. So far so good. I think that the game is pretty. It's pretty. Yeah, the goal of the game is to catch them all, which I think has always been the goal of the games, right? Got to catch them all. The slogan of Pokemon. But at this game, you're kind of like forced to, not really forced, but like it's like the main objective of the game, right? Which I think is a cool new take on. I think just in general, right? Like, there's a lot of features have never been seen in any Pokemon game, and when I first started playing Pokemon, I never thought I would, you know, be sneaking around and this and that and catching Pokemon like I'm in like I don't even know what kind of game, like a Hitman game or something like that, like crouching around, like gotta stay private. But you know, speaking of Pokemon in general, like not since nobody here yet has the game, I thought of talking about what everyone's favorite type is because there's a lot of new typings in this game. A lot of Pokemon have their typings changed around and stuff like that. What's everybody's favorite type in all the games?
For me, I'm a huge fan of dragon types. I've always been a huge fan of dragon types to begin with, because, like, I don't know. I think I'm just... It goes back way later, not just, like, dragons in general. Like, I'm a fan of, like, dragons in general. So dragon typing is, I fucking hate you. You guys can't see what he just typed in our fucking Discord, but I fucking hate you. Anyways, he said, dragon these nuts across your face. I'm gonna... This fucking bitch. Okay. But no, dragon types have always been... I can't get out my hand now, man. Dragon types have always been my favorite. I think it's always because I've liked, like, dragons just across my fucking lifespan. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Jesus Christ. I've always liked dragons, so dragon types were always sick. Like, Dragonite in Gen 1, I loved fucking Dragonite. And Charizard always looked like a dragon to me. I thought he was a fucking dragon. So I always loved Charizard. But across,
kinda ruined your
like...
tempo there.
Yeah, across all games, I've always liked dragon types. Like, dragon types have always been cool to me. Like, Dragapult became one of my favorite Pokemon in Sword and Shield.
I wasn't really much of a fan of that.
You didn't like
that dragon type.
of Dragapult?
I
just-
didn't
or
really
just the
play much
typing?
of Sword. I like the typing. I like the typing. I think a lot of Pokemon, like a lot of the dragon type Pokemon, are always like I never really have one on my team because they're really strong. So I always feel like overpowered using them. So I always try to use like because they only have like what 2 weaknesses or 3 weaknesses. So they always feel super super strong. So I tend not to, but I don't know. They always have good base stats, but Dragapult, I don't know. I didn't really play much of Sword and Shield, so I don't really have an informed opinion. How about you, Amanda? What's your favorite typing?
I'm sure I don't even have to tell you
I was
guys
about to say
what my
fairy.
Yeah.
typing
Yeah,
is.
fairy.
Yeah. So fairy type is definitely my favorite typing now. But obviously, fairy type is one of the newer typings. So before fairy type, my favorite types were actually normal and psychic. I also like dragon a lot, but I think normal Pokemon I really loved. Honestly, there's a lot of good normal type Pokemon. But when fairy types were released, I was just like I was head over heels for like all of them. I actually one of my favorite like fairy type Pokemon, which is technically cheating because it's the Mega Evolution form, but it's Mega Altaria. Like literally, its design is so beautiful, and I love that it's Dragon Fairy. Such a
Yeah.
strong Pokemon. And I think it's definitely underrated too for in
Yeah, I
terms
was gonna say.
of evolved Pokemon.
I feel like a lot. Like I don't think that a lot of people would even think about Mega Altaria. It took me a minute to think about the design of that because I rarely saw it like past like when it was like first released. I think I was in like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Fairy
Yeah.
types were introduced in X and Y, right?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were first. But then when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire got their remakes, they've introduced a couple more Mega Evolutions, and Altaria was one of them since it's exclusive to Gen 3.
Yeah. How about you, Kane? What are you thinking?
I would say water type.
Water
Which is
type.
a bit of a weird one for me, because originally I thought...
What are you, fucking
Damn, did I-
Misty?
Yeah, true.
Honestly, I thought it was grass type, right? Because most of my favorite Pokemon come kind of from grass typing. But then I looked at the water types and was like, oh wait, most of them have really cool designs. They're also really accessible early on in most games.
Mm-hmm.
And, most part, they have some of the strongest moves in the game.
What's the Pokemon that like made you like water over grass type? Like I feel like there's probably like a few or maybe one that maybe you were
I mean,
like,
it
yeah, I
goes-
definitely like this more.
That'll go more into my favorite Pokemon list.
Right.
But
right.
I would say, right, just a spoiler warning.
Yeah, give us a hint, a little
Poly-
sprinkle.
Politoed. I know it's not everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, not everyone's
Okay,
pick.
okay. So that's a fun Pokemon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I love
no one ever uses Politoed. No one. Not even the single soul. But every time I have a chance, I will always have a Politoed on my team. I love the design of Politoed. It's so cute.
Anytime I think of Politoed, I think of the movie
Oh yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
where they were it was the Latios and Latias movie, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was.
I can't remember who had the Politoed, but that's what
Oh,
like my
yeah.
main memory of Politoed is from the movie.
I think
Yeah.
Misty had a Politoed. I think.
I think no. I think that did she go for Poly? No, I don't think Poly. I think maybe she might have. I don't remember
Yeah.
actually.
I will
But
say, in like terms of water type Pokemon, Primarina is one of my favorites.
I love Primarina.
I think it's also because it's a fairy
so
type.
pretty. Well, yeah, that's true. But like, it's one of my favorite starters, honestly, and like the evolution is just so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and then to loop back around to me, my favorite typing is Dark type. It's a really close tie between Steel and Dark type. I kind of realize now that my comment about Dragon type kind of also applies to Dark type, seeing as they only have like 2 types that they're weak to. So kind of a little bit of a overpowered type, you could say. But yeah, I've always been a fan of like most of my teams in every single game. I always have to manage the fact that I have way too many Steel types and way too many Dark types on it. So any Fire type team, any Fairy, like fighting, and I'm just out for it. Like again in Diamond and Pearl, I started with Piplup, right, and then Apollyon eventually. So when I got to that fighting type gym leader, man, like or any fighting type like trainer, and I would just get, man, it really sucked. Like Empoleon kind of feels bad, but yeah, no, like Dark type has just always been my favorite typing. You
I
know,
feel like Dark types are always viable too. Like I feel like
true.
always having one Dark type is pretty good, unless you can get like a Pokemon that can use Dark type move well. Obviously,
Yeah,
because having
yeah.
coverage moves on a good Pokemon is good too. But usually Dark types are always viable and usually strong.
Yeah, I guess the only issue you could say is that Dark type really isn't super effective against many typings. So like it kind of has that that one little like it's a niche, kind of like the normal typing. Like
Yeah.
like it kind of like I don't think is normal type super effective against anything. I don't actually think so. We'll have to do a
Wait,
well. Yeah, I
is
don't think
there?
so. I don't think that I think that normal type is the only type that isn't super effective against anything.
I mean, it also
No.
makes sense because normal, you
It's a
know.
normal type,
Normal,
yeah. But King kind of talked about it a little bit about Politoed, but I was kind of interested in what you guys thought were like. You could say like top 5 Pokemon or just your favorite Pokemon. It's up to you guys. Can either go for a top 5 list or like just your number one. So what do you guys think? And like favorite Pokemon? Who wants to start it off?
I just had to Google it to make sure. Yeah, it's not super effective against anything.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. We have the fact check.
We have the
fact check.
confirmation. My favorite. We're talking favorite Pokemon, right?
Yeah, talk a favorite Pokemon. Top 5, or you can just do not like number
My
one.
favorite Pokemon of all time also stems like just because of the anime, because I avidly watched the anime when I was younger. But my favorite Pokemon of all time is Sceptile, which is also a starter Pokemon.
Okay.
And shout out to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire for also giving him a Mega type, which just made him like 10 times fucking cooler for me. His Mega is really cool.
Okay.
But I just remember like the fight between Ash and May, like Blaziken versus Sceptile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That fight really
a big fight.
boosted like my love for Sceptile overall, and I've always just thought he was a cool Pokemon too. I feel like normally, like under normal circumstances, he wouldn't have been like one of my favorite Pokemon. Like I would have enjoyed him and thought he was cool, but I wouldn't write him down as one of my favorites. But watching the anime and just seeing his synergy with Ash made him one of my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, I fully agree. So that says your number one Pokemon. If you were to kind of give like a few more, like if you would give a top 3, what would you say like come close to that level of Sceptile?
That's a hard choice actually, because again, if I were to like list them down, I feel like most of them would end up being dragon types, and it's not something I've
Yeah.
like thought of too much. Like I really like Dragapult, which is he's like
Okay.
one of the most recent Pokemon, but his design overall is like super fucking cool. I love his design so much. But besides that, not really much like sticks out about him. I mean, he has a cool moveset, but it's mostly his design that just makes me fall in love with him. Not really anything else like anime or anything like that. I haven't seen him in the anime, so I wouldn't be able to point on that. But yeah, Dragapult is definitely up there. Sceptile is definitely up there. And I can't...
Charizard.
Yeah, I like Charizard a lot. I don't know if I'd put him in my top 3 though, but I do love Charizard. Charizard is a classic. But that's when also people are like, you know, everybody picks fucking Charizard. You gotta pick something else. You gotta be
Yeah.
That
original.
was because Ash had a very legendary Charizard in the anime.
Yeah,
That's
that
true.
Charizard did never listen. That Charizard.
The motherfucker was
never-
like, "Hey yo, I love you. Just kidding. I gotta go." And then
Yeah,
he comes
yeah.
back every goddamn season. He's like, "There's a fight. I'm pulling up."
And then he doesn't listen half the time.
He's based. He's honestly based.
He truly is. Really doesn't
Best
doesn't
Charizard.
care. All right, moving on. Amanda, what are you thinking?
Okay, so I actually had to like pull up my chart that I made like a while ago. It says like your favorite Pokemon of each
You came
type.
prepared for
Because-
this shit. What the?
No, because I realized that you remember those they had like the generated charts thing that you could like pick out Pokemon for each type, like
Oh,
for your
yeah.
favorites.
She's a
Oh,
graph
yeah.
chart.
And like these are definitely like not my top 5 by any means because there's just so many to choose from. But I mentioned Primarina. She's definitely probably one of the ones up there. And then Altaria as well. I love Altaria. But one of the Pokemon that I really like loved and like used a lot was Stuffle and Beware. They used to be my mascot Pokemon for when I first started out streaming, and they were like the first Pokemon that I actually like seriously shiny hunted. And I love them so much. They're so cute, and I don't know. I think I also kind of like have a sentimental connection to them because when I was little, my mother used to call me Amanda Panda, and Beware kind of looks like a panda bear that looks like what it wants to give you a hug. So I don't know. There's just some sappy stuff there.
I mean,
But,
hey, everybody has a reason.
yeah. But then, like, literally almost every single fairy type I adore. Alcremie is one of them. I think Alcremie is such an interesting and cool Pokemon. I know it's not, like, super strong in terms of competitive battling, but, like, I just love the idea behind it, how it has, like, a bunch of different forms, and you literally have to, like, for some of them, you have to, like, swirl, like, you run in a circle to, like, evolve it, you know? I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's a really cool, like, kind of concept. And then, I don't know how many that was, but, Gudra is also one of my favorites. I'm sure Zakiel will probably agree since it's a dragon type. But Gudra is like one of my favorites. And I actually shiny hunted Gumi in Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I was one of the first YouTubers to get a video out there when it first got released. So I was actually pretty proud of that, honestly.
Yeah, well,
But yeah,
that's-
those are
that's-
just like a handful.
Are you a fan of Pangoro? Like, that's another
Pangoro?
panda. Like the big panda?
I mean, not really. I used to be, not as much now. I don't
He
know.
looks like he'll
Like
give you a hug.
he looks like he'd beat my face in.
He'd hug you after though. He'd
Well,
hug
you said you
after.
wanted to hug
Oh,
Beware, and
no.
I'm pretty sure if you hug a Beware, he's just gonna straight kill you. Isn't that in his like
No.
description?
Yeah,
Look
I'm
at
pretty
his
sure.
little face.
Yeah.
Come on, he won't hurt me.
Yeah, what about Pancham? Like
Pancham's
the
very
like the
cute.
pre-evolution, the
I
pre-evolution.
love Pancham.
It looks like it called me a bitch.
Maybe it would. Maybe it would. Maybe, I didn't think about the bitch angle. I didn't think about the bitch angle. Now that I think of it like that.
New
maybe.
tech. Pokemon curses you out in new
Yeah,
game.
yeah. You're trying to catch a Pokemon. Just you stupid bitch. You think you're trying to catch me right now, bitch ass?
Pokemon
I
used
love Pokemon,
shit talk.
honestly.
Yeah. Nasty plot has a new meaning.
Oh my god.
How about you, Kane? Give me like a little bit of a favorite Pokemon top
Well,
5
I've
list.
already forementioned Polytoad earlier,
Right.
and I've already
right.
given my reason for that. The next one on my list, in my head, would be Tourco, which is also a very surprising pick, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
again, for the same reason, it's so cute. And also, Ash had one.
There seems to be a theme here.
No,
Yeah. I'm seeing a little bit of
Ash's
the
Tourco
lines.
early on in the anime was so good, right?
Hmm.
He had so many like clutch battles with Tourco, and that's why I really love Tourco.
Some fond memories there.
That's also
idea
why I
that-
like Gudra too. Gudra was sick in the anime.
Oh yeah,
Gudra had me crying in the anime.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't really relate to like past past like Gen 4 like of the anime, or just actually past Gen 5 of the anime. Like X and Y, I didn't really watch much, so I didn't get to really see like any of the
Yeah,
character fights or
after
anything like
XY, I stopped watching anime as well. But like the anime before that, I was so invested, like emotionally on every level.
that. Hmm.
Especially XYZ. XYZ was something completely different.
I think also.
Ash's Greninja.
Oh yeah, true. Ash Greninja do go hard, but that shit was also
Yeah.
like turbo broken. Like they just decided to go all in on this motherfucker.
Yeah,
He basically was like a Power Ranger by the end of the goddamn show.
pretty much.
But,
Truly.
Another Pokemon to add to my list that probably isn't expected is Mammoth Swine. I love Mammoth Swine.
Mm.
I don't know
actually
what about him I love, but he's just this huge fucking ice age looking motherfucker, and I don't know, I love him. He's just adorable, and he's also like strong too. I
Yeah,
always
he is a
every
really
time
strong Pokemon.
I play in Diamond Pearl Platinum, I always pick up Mammoth Swine every time.
Yeah, Mammoth Swine's a really strong mom. And Kane, was that your list
Strong
kind of
mom.
ended there?
I have
Yeah,
three
strong
more
mom.
that I've kind of like pinpointed in my head.
All right, yeah, go on.
Lapras is another one, which I
Okay.
think is just also a really cool design. Also, just really strong in general, where it can just tank a lot and just win you a lot of things. Also, maybe an attachment to the anime, but I also can't remember it much in the anime because it was in the Orange Island second season thingy.
Yeah, that was the Indigo League, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
like
in
pretty
the
much
Indigo
after the
League.
Indigo League. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the next one is also a very surprising pick by me. I don't think anyone actually knows this, but I really love Bennett.
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah,
that's an interesting pick. I feel like that's
Yeah.
not a lot of people probably wouldn't pick that, to be honest.
Bennett, I think, has one of the coolest designs in the entire game. And also one of the most very oddly, surprisingly interesting movesets. Right?
Right. Like moves
Also one of
learned?
the coolest megas I have ever seen.
I was about to say
Yeah, I
that.
was gonna say that too.
Like,
Yeah, the Mega Evolution
it's
is really cool.
such an underrated pick. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen anyone use this Pokemon ever. That's
Yeah,
why
I
I
think
picked
it-
Bennett.
You
Yeah, I
know,
think it
I
just has
think-
really low defenses. Sorry, Amanda.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, you know what I think is a really underrated Mega Evolution? I
Hmm.
think Mega Absol is so underrated. It's
Yeah.
so beautiful and so elegant, and honestly, it's definitely one of my one of my top favorite Pokemon. It's definitely grown on me, especially
Also-
with its shiny form.
When I was
Yeah.
thinking about it, I was about to say Dark type also for my favorite typing, just because the Dark type like designs are just really cool and just I don't know, something about them just feels like you're just gonna terrorize people.
Yeah, it truly does feel that way. Like as the resident dark type lover, like I I think the one like when I was a kid, I think the reason why dark type was so like the type that I loved the most was because of in Black and White. If you guys remember the Elite Four member Grimsley,
Yeah.
the dark type gym, the Elite Four member. One of my favorite designed characters in the series, and also one of my favorite. Like his team is so fun to like, not fun to play against, but like it is really enjoyable. Like to play as. Like I've done a run just doing his team like from the ground up, and it's really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But
can we agree that like that the Gen 5 Elite Four has like some of the best battle music?
oh, don't get me started. I'll
So
listen to
good.
that.
So good.
Brandon still
I'll
vibes
listen to
to this
that.
day.
Yeah, I do. I actually do. I
Yeah.
do vibe to that to this day. It's such a it's so good.
I remember when we were
It's
playing
so good.
Pokemon MMO, and you'd always be bringing up the Gen 5 music hits really hard
It
videos.
does.
Yeah.
The Gen like here's the thing, right? I think that they have not been able, in my opinion, and this may be a hot take here.
Oh, oh
I,
no.
I don't think that they have released a game that's been able to have like such. Okay, listen, like Vanillux, that's not a good design. All right, yeah, sure, we can agree that the
Like
ice cream, the okay, but like we can kind of agree that like it's pretty useless and it's like never used, right?
What? Come on.
It's what do you mean? How have you ever seen
Whoa.
anybody use it? Come
Whoa.
on.
I've used it. Excuse
Okay,
you.
you've used it. You've used it. You've used it. But I think it's because it's like it's a cute Pokemon. All right.
Okay, hold
be
on.
real.
What
Let's be
is
real.
that
Let's be
supposed to
real.
mean?
Well, I think most of your teams kind of have this theme, right? Like my theme is the dark types. You kind of got the more like
Edgy
cutesy
vibe to
Pokemon.
it.
Yeah, I got the edgy vibe. Right, but I don't think that they've been able to release a game that has as good music or just storytelling of Black and White. I think Black and White is one of their best storytelling games, and
I
just
I
period.
genuinely believe this, like down to my heart. It's because Pokemon started to go more in a direction that's just a little easier, just a
Yeah.
little. Where it's
Yeah.
just like you remove some of the challenge from it, but also just like kind of have like a very slice of life type story. It feels like.
Yeah.
Fun
Okay, but I
fact.
think-
Keep going, keep going.
No. I was gonna turn the conversation around, so go ahead.
Okay, fun fact, and throwback to our last episode. The first dark type Brendan ever got, he named Kakashi.
True. It is true. That is true. It,
Yeah, you're stunned.
It
You're
was,
stun locked. I've absolutely CC'd you. I've paralyzed.
Yeah,
I've parahaxed you for 4
truly
moves.
has. It truly has. Like I was not expecting.
I have the type advantage.
That I wasn't expecting that like to be brought up. Yeah, no, it was
okay.
Oh, I can't.
I feel like
can't
I
remember
actually
Pokemon
did
now.
just bring a dark memory.
No, a dark type memory. A dark type memory. A dark type memory.
I brought a repressed
Uh,
memory out of him, and now he's going into shock.
I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure it was my favorite Pokemon, which I just realized I didn't actually say mine. My favorite Pokemon is Darkrai. It's been Darkrai ever since I watched the movie. It's my favorite movie. The Darkrai movie is amazing. I just love his design and just like the idea behind him. Like he's the nightmare Pokemon. Close seconds are like Scizor, and Aegislash. I know a lot of people. He's really broken in competitive play. I do know that, but I love the design of Aegislash. So, and shiny Aegislash, probably one of the best looking shinies.
I don't
like,
think a lot of people would actually pick Aegislash. Like competitively, obviously, he's very viable, but I don't think a lot of people would ever say that that's their favorite Pokemon or one of their favorites.
Yeah, he's up there. Like right after him would be like Greninja and then Bisharp, and then that's probably rounding out my top 5. Bisharp is another one that I don't think really many would really say. It combines my favorite 2 typings. It's one of the only Steel Dark types, so that's kind of the reason. But yeah, no. And speaking of what Zach brought up, the Kakashi, it was if I'm not mistaken, like I'm still very surprised I remember that. But I named my favorite Pokemon Darkrai. The first time I got it was I got it when it was it was one of those events. Those event Pokemons in Gen 4 where you didn't. It wasn't actually an event that you had to go to a place to get it. It was kind of just like a code. It kind of sucked. I wish it kind of had like more of like a diverse, like you have to go to this area, this and that, right? But it was kind of just a code, and it was in like I think what are those Pokeballs called? Like the red Pokeballs, like they're all red.
Oh, I was about to say the cherry balls, but like that's not it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The cherry
Premier?
Premier?
No,
No, Premier is all white.
Yeah, those are the white and the red. It's the opposite way around or something like that.
I know
But
what you're talking about though. Yeah.
yeah.
I can
and
envision it in my head, but I can't think of
yeah,
the name.
yeah, I can't think of the name. We'll have to look it up another time. But yeah, no, I named him Kakashi because if you look at Darkrai, like everybody watching the episode take a little bit look at Darkrai. He kind of looks like Kakashi. At least that's what I thought when I was a kid, and I still stand by that. That he kind of has that, that similar look, not exactly the same, obviously, but like I've always just been in love with Darkrai, and he kind of gave that like the love for the Dark type Pokemon, and then my favorite, going on to kind of what I was going to bring up for the next topic here was your favorite gym leader or Elite Four member, and then mine is going to be Grimsley, obviously, as I said before. The battle music in Gen 5 is so good. Like I've never really had a game where even now to this day when I'm playing it, like I'll obviously have to make the game a little bit harder, right? Because I think all of us have beaten Pokemon games like 1,000 times at this point.
Yeah.
So making the game a little bit harder and kind of like leveling him up a bit and like kind of getting like those ROMs that kind of make the game a little bit harder. Even to this day, that battle music and facing his team and like just playing Gen 5 period is so, it just feels so great. And especially Black and White 2, like the continuing of the story, you get to see kind of the evolution of the characters that Sharon and Bianca actually becoming the professor, if I'm not mistaken. So you get to see the evolutions of the characters. So that's kind of why I vouch for Gen 5 being one of the best generations of Pokemon. But going back on the topic of favorite Elite Four member, we'll do both actually. We should probably do both. Elite Four members are kind of their own Pokemon like group. So
Yeah.
what's everybody like? My favorite Elite Four member is probably Grimsley, and I'd have to think on it. Yeah, come back to me for the favorite gym leader. I'll have to look up I'll have to look at the list of them. How about you guys? You guys have any in mind that first pops up?
Going back a little bit, by the way, the full-on red ball is called the Cherish ball.
Cherish.
I was so close. I was
you
like,
were close.
Cherubi.
You were close. Cherubi.
Cherubi,
Yeah,
the
isn't that-
Pokemon ball.
yeah, the Pokemon ball. Yeah, no. Favorite gym leader or Elite Four member? Does anybody want to start us off with theirs?
I'm gonna have to hold off on this one because I can't remember mine.
Well, for
Okay,
me,
alright.
for my favorite gym leader, it has to be Sabrina.
Okay.
And I know I'm like a bit of a Gen 1er when it comes to like my gym leader pick, because that's all I can actually kind of remember.
Okay.
Right? Because I think Gen 1 generally had the most unique gym leaders, and that's just maybe a hot take, I don't know. But when it came to Sabrina, in the anime for example, you can literally just see the difference between like the last gym leader and the next one. She was just completely different. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
And Ash generally struggled against this gym leader. Like, this is the one time where he literally had to like basically loan a Pokemon to actually win.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. I remember that. Also, like all the tricks that she played on them.
And he didn't even win. That's the
No, yeah. I was gonna say, did he even win?
yeah. Ash didn't even win this match. That's just how strong she was, right? And even in the games, right? I think she was generally a tough challenge.
For sure. I think a lot of
And she
people would
also has
say
one
that.
of the coolest designs in the game. I generally
Yeah,
believe that as well.
I
And also just the whole mysterious feel about her. It's great.
I fully agree. I do disagree with the Gen 1 has the most unique of the of like the gym leaders. I
Yeah.
think that as the generations went on, I do feel like they kind of like, I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to fanboy over Gen 5. It's not my favorite. It actually is not my favorite of gym leaders. My favorite gym leaders, like out of like all the generations, would probably be Gen 2, which actually
I was thinking Gen 2 as well, but
yeah,
because Gen 2 had one of the biggest challenges when it came to a gym leader.
Oh my
and that
lord,
was Whitney's Miltank.
I did the stories. The thing is that you
I
could
have
easily
trauma.
yeah, I think everybody who's played that has trauma. And the funniest thing is that a lot of people don't even realize that you could literally just get, I think you can get a Machop from like trading with a NPC in the town to make the
Yeah.
fight just so easy. But like
Yeah.
when you're first doing it, you're not thinking like now ever since that I have done like I've made it a mission before I fight a gym leader to talk to every NPC in the town. To to any NPC ever or like go to every area. But I'll let Amanda and Zach kind of keep thinking about theirs because I was able to find like look up my favorite two. They come really close to a tie. I like Morty a lot more because he is the Ghost type gym leader of Gen 2. But
Yeah.
Claire, the Dragon type gym leader of Gen 2, she never actually she actually has to be forced to give you the badge. After beating her, she doesn't let you fight her originally. You have to do this whole trial, go up to the top of the tower, and then you're blessed by these monks, and then you're able to go and fight her. And then even after beating her, she's like, I don't think that you're good enough. You're actually still not getting this badge. And then she has to be told by those monks, give this person the badge. Stop, this person beat you. And then she's like, fine, here, take the badge. So I think it's a pretty fun interaction, and Ghost type is my third favorite typing, and Morty's design, he's just the most relaxed person alive. He has this really cool scarf and a headband. And I don't know, he's really cool in my opinion.
Yeah. No, totally agree.
So you guys, Amanda and Zach, who wants to go first for their gym leader and Elite Four member?
Zach, do you need some more time thinking?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, if I were gonna, stuttering. If it were for Elite Four and gym leaders, I can't really think too much. But if we were talking champions, I feel like everyone can instantly think of a champion that straight comes to mind.
Yeah.
And it's Cynthia.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
She's definitely up there for me.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a group worldwide decision that Cynthia has to be one of, if not your favorite champion of all time.
One of the best music. Generally.
Yeah, the music that piano starts playing.
Her soundtrack goes hard. She's super fucking strong and smart, and also she comes back when you go to the next game. When you go to Black and White, she comes back and she absolutely kicks your fucking ass. And I will never forget it because I struggled so many times with trying to beat her in Black and White. Oh my god, she was such a brick wall to beat. It was so hard to actually beat her. But she was so cool. And she also makes me think of he's not a gym leader or anything of the sort, but I also really liked Looker. Looker was always a really cool addition to the story in the Pokemon games.
Agree. Was he introduced in Gen 4? I believe, right? He was introduced in Gen 4. Or was he already?
I think he was. No, I don't think he was. No, wait, yes, he was Gen 4. He was Gen 4.
Yeah,
and he carried out
probably,
all the way to Sun and Moon.
Yeah, I think he had a small role. He wasn't really a big player, but he certainly kind of had his own niche there. But speaking of champions, just to kind of do a little bit of sidetracking, I think that I've never I love the Pokemon games so much. Don't get me wrong, but the de-evolution of champions past Iris is can anyone even remember the name of the X and Y champion? I have it on. I have it on page right now.
Diantha?
Oh.
Okay, it is Diantha. Kane did get it right, but can anyone even remember anything about her? Not really.
Oh, yeah, actually I can. I was gonna say that next to Cynthia, Diantha and Iris are tied for a second. I like her a lot, honestly.
You guys are disrespecting Gary so much. How dare you?
Oh yeah. He's there. He was champion, I think, actually for he beat the record for the the shortest amount of time a person has been champion. He had the championship for what? I think an hour.
If you're just talking about the anime strictly, right? This guy had 16 gym badges. That's just how swag he was, right?
True, and he did beat you. Technically, he beat you playing as Red. He beat you to the, He kept saying "smell you later," so. But I don't know. I think that after Iris, I think they just kind of devolved. I mean, I think that the champion of Sword and Shield, that guy was so annoying. Oh my god.
You didn't like Leon?
No, he wouldn't shut up. He's like, I am the champion. If you didn't know, I'm the champion. Hey, you forget? I have a Charizard. I have a champion. I am the champion. My Charizard, he's big. I am the champion.
Okay, I'll say that I only didn't like him just because I felt his design was lacking a little bit. I felt there could have been more to because I feel for Pokemon champions, you look at the list of them and they all have a certain kind of air about them, that says I am the champion. I've got this kind of air of power to me, and Leon just kind of was slap a cape on him and call it a day.
Yeah, it's got a royal cape, and then
You actually couldn't tell if he was a champion. So he had the actually say it.
I think it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
more
yeah,
of his
yeah.
brother that flexed that he was a champion more than it was him. Because
That's
he was
true.
also like,
Yeah.
he was just known across the lands. Like everybody loved him. Everybody knew he was a champion and how strong he was. But it was mostly his brother that would brag at every corner about how cool of a person he was and how cool of a champion he is.
Yeah, that is true. But I just feel like it's never been pushed in any other game that hard. Like like it's almost like the game designers like thought that like the players were gonna have like a goldfish memory. Like who's the champion again? Who's the champion? Oh, he's it right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Like in all the other games, like Black and White, you see Elder once. Like I think he falls down a mountain, or like he slides down a mountain rather.
It slides on a mountain.
I loved him in
He's-
the anime though. Alder
Oh,
was
yeah, he
always
was
fun
fun
in the
in the
anime.
anime. He was really
Didn't
cool in
he
the
have
anime.
like a nephew or something too?
Does he? I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe.
I-
Or was it the son? I can't remember.
I don't actually remember. I
I j-
honestly don't.
Wasn't Iris Alder's daughter?
No,
No, that's
Iris
that's
was like,
Dradagon or whatever that guy. No, that's the Pokemon. What was that guy? That guy's name was so close to a Pokemon, and if you had White, then you'd face him in the gym
Oh no,
Which, by the way,
grandson. It was his grandson.
his
Yeah,
grandson,
his grandson was named Benga.
Benga. Okay.
He was a
But
trainer.
you guys know what I'm talking about? The Gen 5 Dragon type gym. That like one of them
Um,
was one of them was a guy, and then the other one was Iris. So like it was either you fought one or the other,
Oh yeah,
depending on
'cause
what
it
game you
was-
had.
Yeah. I don't
What was that
know.
guy's name? I think was his name Dradagon? No, that's the Pokemon,
Beardy.
right?
His name was Beardy.
Yeah,
I just
he
remember
said-
he had like a dragon type beard or whatever.
Yeah, he had a dragon type beard. His beard was typed. Like if you use if he was in the cold, his beard got
His beard had stab.
Yeah, truly. You know, he could like looking at his design now. I have to look him up, but like he looked like his beard could stab somebody. Like that was just sharp beard. Like I don't know. I've never seen somebody's beard like that in my life before. His name is Drayden.
Raiden.
Interesting. Drayden.
Oh.
But yeah, no. So Zach, looping it back around to you. You've had some time. What are you thinking? Favorite? Favorite gym
Okay,
leader?
but going back to like Alder's grandson, he was the final boss trainer in the Black Tower.
Oh, I don't think I ever really finished the Black Tower actually.
He was
That's probably
yeah,
why.
final boss trainer of the Black Tower and the White Tree Hollow.
I
Okay.
think I ended up finishing it. I can't remember why, but I needed something from it. So my brother and I tried to finish it together.
When it comes to again going back to what we were talking about, trainers and stuff like that, I think one of my favorite like trainers or one that comes instantly to mind was just Gardenia, the second gym leader of the Sinnoh
Oh,
League.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what specifically about her it is that I like about her, but she's always like just come to mind when I think of gym leaders overall. There's also one gym leader in, I don't know if it's Johto or Owen. I don't remember. I think it was a bug type gym leader. I think it was in the Johto League.
Was it the
Oh.
Bugsy? The Bugsy, the one with they're
purple hair, right?
holding, yeah, the purple hair. They're holding a net.
Was it Bugsy? I'm not sure. I
Like
think
that's the bug type gym leader of Johto. So
I don't know. Oh no. It was Erica. Erica is the one.
Oh,
Oh,
Erica.
Mm,
come on.
oh yeah.
Grass gym.
You
Yeah.
like the grass gym? You like the grass gyms, eh?
I love the
I
grass
guess
gym.
for gym
Jump on.
leaders, I guess so.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
gym. It was
And
just
what
a
about
sick
League 4
gym.
member?
When I can't.
The Elite Four kind of gets a little bit like a lot of the Elite
I
Four.
don't know, none of the Elite Four members ever really like stuck out to me really hard. I'd always just
Yeah.
kind of like blast through them and never really thought much of them, and was always trying to like get to the end of the game and
Well,
beat the champion.
I have one Elite Four member that I thought I kind of struggled against,
Okay, go
Okay.
on.
and that was when I played Gen 2 for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I went against Karen. That was difficult.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And also a very diverse team. As I'm looking at
Truly.
it, because I completely forgot about it, right? But the thing is, she cheated.
She
She
cheated.
got Plume in a fucking Dark Elite Four. What?
Wait, hold on a second. Which one? Wait, like, hold on a second. Say it, what was that Pokemon you were thinking of? Because I remember exactly that. I just can't.
In
Wait.
Gen 2, she had a Vileplume and a Dark and a Gengar. But I guess she
Well,
might have
she
been dual typed
did.
of Dark and Poison. Maybe.
No, she was the Ghost type Elite Four member, and she had a.
Well,
No,
mainly
yeah, no,
her team consists of a Umbreon, which is, Murkrow, and a Houndoom. The Houndoom was the problem. I hated it against the Houndoom, because all you would remember is this Houndoom just outsped everything. And you were like, oh, okay. Thanks. And then sometimes you make
what Elite Four member again? Sorry, not to cut you off there, but what Elite Four member again?
from Gen 2.
Gen 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, now I'm seeing. Sorry.
Yeah. So, whenever you went against Houndoom, this thing would outspeed you, right? So you would get roared. So even if you wanted a certain Pokemon out, you couldn't.
Mm.
And they also
Yeah.
had crunch, so you were flinched. And it was just, very annoying. Personally.
Wait, actually looking at it now, yeah. Why does she have a Vileplume? Like,
Yeah, it makes no
wait,
sense.
yeah.
It's a
Wait,
Vileplume.
she's the Dark type one, and technically, two of her Pokemon aren't even Dark type.
Yeah.
Neither Gengar or Vileplume are Dark type.
They really just looked at the Pokemon, went, they're slightly dark. I guess I'll put them in.
They have one dark type move they can use. We can put them in.
Okay. Okay. Hold on a second. I think that we need to just take a real quick look at the fact that Bruno also is using an Onyx as the fighting type Elite Four. So I actually don't think they cared at all. Like, and they also hold on a second. One of them has a Fortress. The Koga has a Fortress as the poison type. What is going on?
My question, okay,
really
if
just
you
went on Pokemon in Gen 2 and just went, alright, let's just cheat the system.
if you look at Bruno, right? He has an Onyx on his team, but after 16 badges, it's full fighting types.
Yeah, same
Why
thing
didn't they?
Same thing with Karen. Same thing with Karen. After the badges, she gets a Spirit Tomb. This is in Gen 4, but like after 16 badges, you are no longer having this random Vileplume and Gengar. They get switched out for two Gen 4 Pokemon.
This is real criminal. What I'm looking at my screen right now, this is a real criminal. Hoenn Elite Four, Glacia, she has two Celios,
Oh, I just realized.
two Celios, two Glalie, and a Wall. What? And it gets worse. After the initial, when it's Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, she still has two Glalie, has two Frostlasses, and a fucking Walrein. What? What is this?
I'm pretty
honestly,
sure there's an Elite Four member called Drake or something. I can't remember what gen it was, but I remember going against two Flygons.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Drake. He has two Flygons.
Yeah, he was just
Yeah.
walking through Flygons.
Oh wait. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I see that now.
Talking about
Wait.
Pokemon
He goes.
diversity.
Okay, he has two Flygons, and then if you fight him in like Emerald or whatever, he just switches it out for a Kingdra, and then you go to a Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and he goes back to two Flygons. What the fuck is going on with these games? I have never like actually in depth looked at the Elite Four members and their teams, but what is going on? Phoebe has two. She has two Dusclops. For what reason? What is with they're just throwing duplicates here for no reason.
She also has two Bayonets.
What is this? Who designed this?
And then one of her Dusclops evolve in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Then one of them evolve into a Dusknoir. She keeps the two Bayonets. She does not drop those. She has to have two of those. She keeps the Sableye in all of them. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they kind of just. I feel like sometimes like I think that Gen 5 again. I don't know. This episode is just me sucking up the Gen 5.
Yo.
But look at the Gen. Okay, look at the designs of the Gen 5 like Elite Four members, and then look at their teams. Their teams stay consistently at least somewhat cohesive.
But at least they have like 700 Pokemon to choose from.
Yeah, that's true. At that point, they did have a lot more Pokemon to choose from. That is fair.
Yeah.
But the same like Caitlyn's design, if you remember, she's the girl that's like really tired and she's always sleeping. There's the Psychic type Elite Four member. Like Marshall, probably the only one that his design is kind of like he's just kind of a fighting man. He's just kind of a martial artist.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure if you go back to Gen 1, there was only like 3 fire Pokemon that are actually good that you can choose.
Yeah, I also realized that I actually if you look at Gen 1, Bruno has 2 Onyxes.
Yo, 2 Onyx?
I'm
Yo,
looking
me
at
too.
the Unova Elite Four, and in the Unova Elite Four, the initial fight they only have 4 Pokemon, and then if you
Yeah.
rematch them, they go to 6. What? And then all
What
the
the
other
fuck?
Elite Fours only have 5. Like, why not give them 6? Why not just give them a full roster? Never mind. Then we'd have like 3 fucking Glalie to go against, or like 3
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Flygons to go against.
Yeah. Don't give them any ideas. Like again, like Lance has 2. This has been something that's
Count them.
confused me
1,
forever.
2.
2 Dragonairs and a Dragonite. He has an Aerodactyl, which is not a Dragon type, and he has a Gyarados, who is also not a Dragon type.
If it looks like a dragon, it is a dragon.
Like, and then he gets a Executor randomly in what, Gen 7, and Gen 7 he gets a random Alolan Executor. Like what? What is going on with these teams?
This is I've
Like-
never noticed this till
Which is
today,
so
till we looked at this
weird.
today.
Yeah. So this is a live reaction to us looking at the Elite Four members and just in absolute confusion of what we are looking at. These teams are a little bit.
Wait, oh my god. Agatha, she takes 2 Gengars all the way through. Her
I know.
whole team, she never replaces a single Gengar.
Yeah,
At least
that's what I
on
was
the
talking about
like,
earlier.
yeah, on the other rosters, they at least like replace one eventually when it goes to like a different generation or like the rematch or something like that. She don't give a shit. She brought both Gengars all the way through all these generations. She does not
She
care.
also has a Weezing, an Arbok, a Golbat, and a Marowak, which none of them are ghost.
Lock her up. Lock her up.
Not-
We're putting her in the retirement. Who's going
wait,
to the
wait.
retirement home?
Wait, I just realized something. She actually only has 2 ghost types on her team, and she's the ghost type Elite Four member. In the main game, she has 3, right? But she keeps the Crobat, who has never been a ghost type. she evolves her Golbat to a
Criminal.
Crobat, which is still not a ghost type. So I guess she's the poison ghost type. So I guess they have dual typing at times.
You know
but,
what?
Like, they have
Game Freak, I love you as a company most of the time, but this ain't it.
yeah,
This is not it.
you know, like whenever you guys decide to make another game with like the normal like foundations of like the Pokemon game, kind of like make another Black and White, please
Ring me
make it
up.
so that ring me up. I'll make the teams. I'll make them competitively viable. Like I'll make like a team with like an Aegislash and like
You'll
sword
probably make the
dances.
children cry. If they play them.
Yeah, true. Honestly, I think the reason why I look more and more into it, I look more and more into the teams and just the idea of like, can anybody like the Kalos Elite Four? Who? WH Omega Lol. Who are these people?
I don't even.
you-
Yeah, I don't even remember them. This dude with the armor, I don't remember him at all. And
Yeah,
they
like-
also all have 4 Pokemon.
Yeah, like who are these people? Like, it feels like after a certain like, maybe it's just because of our nostalgia and us growing, we just stopped really like looking into it and stopped caring so much. That could be an argument, but in this again, we're gonna get off the topic of the Elite Four members teams just to move it along a little bit. But I think that the Pokemon they've tried so much to make it easier, which sucks obviously for the players who want it to be hard. I get it though. You're trying to get more people into the game. The harder it is, people are gonna not want to play, right? The people who are not trying to challenge themselves. That is,
Well, the newer
But-
generation.
yeah, the newer generation will 100% just like complain. I mean, like you saw those like what was like those what was it? The game when Cuphead was first released, like the what was it? There was an article that was made
Can
like
they
how
add an easy mode?
yeah, can they add an easy mode? And you look at the gameplay, and these people actually couldn't like jump, like they couldn't even platform.
They couldn't get
like-
past the tutorial.
Yeah, they couldn't get past the tutorial, and that was just jumping over things. So like, I think that the level of like, I think that the level of gaming,
I think
despite it should be going higher because of the new technology and all that, it's actually devolving. Like the casual gamers are just.
I
Like,
think it's because gaming
know.
became so accessible, and so
Right.
like people of all ages are starting to play. So they're starting to try and simplify these games down, and just like try and cut corners even in production to make them just an extra money, etc.
I mean, at the end of the day.
I also want to say that, like, going back to like Elite Four members, even though we were trying to stray away from this topic,
No,
I think that the reason why none of them really click with me is because they never have any relevance in the games until the end of the game. When do you
Yeah.
like majority of the time you never see them, you never interact with them, and then you just get to the Elite Four and you hear this epic ass battle music for someone you haven't even met the whole entire game. So you're more in tune with the battle music and trying to like get through these Elite Four
True.
members to the champion and win than you are focused on like these characters because they don't get any type of like progression throughout the story. You don't meet them early on or later on. You always do with the champion. For the most part, you always meet the champion early on. He always got something to say to you or she got something to say to you. But for the Elite Four members, they're really never relevant.
It,
And what
it's
else?
very- Go on, King. Go on.
What else I would say to that is that like whenever you what's the word? Whenever you get to the Elite Four, the victory road basically, you start to overtrain yourself. And then the
Yeah,
battles
that's
become
true.
a lot easier, and then it's just like you don't really gain many memories of it. Whereas if you were like early game / middle game of Pokemon, you would be more inclined to remember, the early game gym leaders, for example,
That's
and
true.
how
That's
difficult
true.
those battles were, or have that type of memory.
That's true. That's true. I mean, another thing I was gonna add on to that actually is that I mean, with the exception I think of like Flint in Gen 4, Flint is like, which can we talk about the fact that Hearthstone or like what was it,
Hearthstone?
Hearthstone or
Heart Gold,
yeah,
Soul
not the
Silver.
game.
Ultimate Blizzard?
No. The town in Gen 4 that you're not allowed to go to until like the very end. Like
Oh, I don't
I
know
think
the
it's
name
called
for
like
that.
Hearthrome or something like that. Or
Yeah.
anyways, it's a town, right, where you could see that you get to go up in this like glass area, right, where it's like all solar panels, right, and they're what you can walk around. Can we talk about the fact that in that game, a town with all solar panels somehow got a power outage? The entire like the floors of the entire ground of that city is just solar panels. How did they have a power outage? For
No
like,
more sun.
I guess so. Like,
I feel like
Like-
it does make sense if it gets too much power that it could cause a power outage, or if it has to do with
Sure.
like an electric type Pokemon.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
If an
Like, it'd be
electric type Pokemon were to like send too much energy or like possibly drain it, which I think would be like fucking impossible. This would be like fucking they'd basically like mega evolve them god themselves if they put that much electricity into
yeah,
their
that's
body.
true.
But if they were to also send an electric charge to it, it would probably like overpower it and just either short circuit it or just basically blow up.
True. And again, not to get off topic of the like, not to go back to the topic. Can we talk about the fact that Flint not only is the fire type, he's the think about this. Diamond and Pearl only have 2 fire types, but like I was going to talk about the Diamond and Pearl remakes next, so it's a perfect transition. I just saw that, but Flint as the fire type gym leader, as a fire type Elite Four member, listen to his team: Rapidash, Infernape, Steelix, Lopunny, and Driftbloom. Half of his team, more than half of his team, isn't fire type. He has a
put his
ground
stakes in there.
type. He has a ground steel, a normal, and then a ghost type.
No, I think the gym leaders actually do a better job of following their typings than the Elite Four do.
Like,
They just forget what type they are after.
I think the only thing you could say is that technically there isn't actually. I think there's only 5 fire type Pokemon in all of Diamond and Pearl. Right? It's like Flareon, Infernape, Rapidash, Houndoom, and Heatran. I think that's or Rotom Heat.
One of
Rotom
those
Heat.
legendary.
Yeah, you don't count Heatran because I guess an Elite Four member can't have that. But in Rotom Heat, I think that's the only 5 that you can actually get in the base game, right? So it already has like no fire type. So I understand why they had to give him other Pokemon, but like you had Flareon, Rotom Heat, like an electric fire type. That's pretty strong. Can kill,
Yeah.
can kind of surprise a water type user. But they decided to just kind of give him like a random assortment. Like, why Steelix? Why Lopunny? And why Driftbloom? Like, and
Why don't they just make more fire type?
They really just like threw Pokemon.
yeah,
at
that's
the wall,
another
just said,
thing. That's another thing. Exactly. They just kind of just threw Pokemon like here, you take these 3. I think the reason why is because Steelix got his evolution in like Onyx got his evolution in Gen 4. Lopunny was introduced in Gen 4.
But it's
and
also
so
like
Driftbloom.
your fire typing also just super effective against Steelix. So it's like,
That is-
oh, you're
that
trying to
is
kill
true.
yourself?
Yeah, true. His whole area is just fire everywhere, and he has this like his Steelix is slowly just melting. Like, man, please get me out of here. Like I don't want to be in this place no more.
I feel like Heatran is a Pokemon that doesn't look like it should be a legendary Pokemon, but ends up being like he looks like he maybe could be a
Wait.
mythic, but
Wait,
for the
Heatran
most
was a
part,
legendary?
he is a legendary Pokemon. Amanda said it
Who?
earlier.
Who?
He's a legendary Pokemon, but he
He is a
doesn't
legendary
look like
Pokemon.
he should be a legendary Pokemon at all.
I think it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
I feel
you're
like
right.
Heatran kind of was pushed to the side because, like, in the games, he's in the I think he's in the area right before you go see like like Garantina or Palkia Dialga. He's in that little cave area, like right before it. So he's kind of out of the way, and his typing kind of sucks. Like Fire Steel, not doesn't really. He just gains a weakness. Really, he just gains a fighting type weakness. And fire type moves become neutral on him because weak and kind of actually. Actually, how does that work? Does he just become weak to fire type because he's a fire steel? So fire type isn't like weak, like isn't doesn't resist itself, does it?
Pokemon Mythbusters.
Yeah, we gotta get somebody to do the myth busting on this. But I think I was actually gonna talk about remakes in the Pokemon series and what you guys think. Somebody personally, I think I don't know if anyone else here has beaten the new Diamond and Pearl remakes. One of my favorite games is in the black and white. I gotta say, anybody out there that's debating on the purchase, if you haven't already played Diamond and Pearl, then buy it. If you have already played Diamond and Pearl, don't buy it. Honestly, I can't recommend it. The game, I love Diamond and Pearl so much, but they didn't bring any of the stuff from Platinum. They didn't they didn't bring any of the new like they the watch, right? Everybody remembers the watch from Diamond and Pearl, right?
Yeah.
The kind of the gadget that you get, right? For some reason in Platinum, right, you would be able to like go back and forth between the different ones, right? Kind of like you have a whole it's only one screen, right? So you can go back and forth, right? In the remakes on better technology and on better this, they actually removed that feature, which made no sense to me. And on top of that, instead of adding any of the good features that made like Diamond and Pearl weren't actually really that good. All right, like people are gonna hate me for that one, but they
No.
were a really slow game. Platinum made the game good, right? So when they didn't add any of the Platinum features, why play?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. What do you guys think about remakes in general? Like, do you think that
Um.
remakes can be a good thing or no?
Alright. Here is my. Well, I've only played. Is it just one remake? I think it's technically one remake, and that
Or
was Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Technically
well,
speaking.
I
think
was
I
I
don't
was
know.
not a fan. I was not a fan of Ultra Sun Ultra Moon. I'm not gonna lie.
I wasn't a fan of Sun. I wasn't a fan of Sun and Moon. Period. So
Right.
I
I
didn't even
wasn't
play.
a fan of Sun and Moon, period, as well. Because it was very dialogue heavy at times, and it could drag on quite a bit, because I think I've sunk 160 hours by the end of the game, when I actually completely felt like I was finished with the game. But when it came to the environments, and it came to, like, certain character features, or, like, interactions, it elevated in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And also, it just felt like there was a lot more Pokemon to be accessible, more diverse teams you can have. And I also loved the Ultra Wormhole feature, like later to the game, because then you would go through there and then get more legendaries and stuff like that. I think that was a cool idea to legendary hunt.
Oh, how about you, Amanda? Give you a little bit of talking here. You haven't talked in a little bit. What do you think of remakes in general? Like,
Um,
and of the remakes that are available.
well, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really play ORAS too much. So I can't really give a proper opinion on that. But I will say for the more recent remakes for Diamond and Pearl, I I really like them. And the reason I like them so much is because Diamond was my first Pokemon game that I owned myself. It was the first game that I poured like hours upon hours on into when I was really little. I have like really fond nostalgic memories of like going to certain places and like alongside I was playing with my brother as well, so we were both experiencing this together. So I think that's why it has like a really big nostalgia factor for me. And when I will admit, when it first got leaked of like the graphics and the gameplay, I was disappointed by the chibi style. But then I realized that they're not trying to remake the whole game. They were just trying to capture the nostalgia that was already there. And I found that I could really like appreciate that honestly. I really grew to like the style of it, which is like I know kind of like a lot of people are like, no, we want like super amazing graphics, but honestly, I kind of just liked playing through the game again and like capturing the nostalgia that I had when I was little. So I think that because even though that they don't have all of the new mechanics that Platinum poured into the game, I think it's still a really well done remake.
I actually
Yeah.
have the polar opposite opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say my opinion was clearly the polar opposite
For
of that, but
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I actually tried playing it, and I didn't even get like a good hour into it before I'd never touched it again. I didn't end up playing the game again
same. Yeah, same here.
because
Same here.
it just felt like either it was the exact same game, or from what I was told from other people or like Pokemon content creators, it was just a fan service game. It felt like the game was just specifically made for the fans, and everything was just to go along with the fans, which I guess in some rights that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants
Yeah,
a game
that's
where it
what I
can
was
go their
kind of
way.
saying. Because I mean, it kind of went that direction where there's more interactions and there's more like places to go to, and you know the environments were also very pretty to look at.
For
For the
me,
most
I
part.
already enjoyed Sun and Moon as it was. Like, Sun and
Yeah.
Moon was. A lot of people probably didn't like it because it was a completely different take on just what we're used to as a normal Pokemon game. But I found Sun and Moon's story to be, like, really encapsulating, and I really liked the story overall. And the main, like, female protagonist almost had me goddamn crying by the end of it. But for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, it just, again, felt like a copy-paste, but they were trying to make it specifically for exactly what the fans wanted, which isn't really what I'm looking for in a Pokemon game. And on the other side of things, when it comes to the new Diamond and Pearl remakes, I just felt like they were too much like the other games, and that's not. I feel like that's not what most people wanted. Most people wanted something a little bit new and newer content, and they did have the whole underground. The whole underground has changed and different, but I feel like just only having that as your new aspect, it doesn't really add much to the base game alone. And I'd like more aspects to be added so that there's new content and it feels refreshing. But it just feels like you're playing the same game over again, but it looks kind of worse. Like, I would have preferred the older style. And apparently the game is very buggy too. I've heard there's a lot of bugs in
it's
the game.
so buggy.
But
Like I've completed the games, and I can tell you it's not the most polished.
But if we're talking remakes and favorite remakes, my favorite remakes are probably Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. A lot of people also don't like this take. A lot of people don't like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, but Hoenn's
sure.
always been one of my favorite regions of all time, and they introduced so many cool megas. Like, they kept the mega aspect alive and introduced so many cool megas. And my absolute favorite thing that I loved about Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire that they haven't done again, I'm guessing because people probably didn't like it, but the Delta episode was so unique and cool to everything that we've had in Pokemon
agreed.
games. I loved that Delta episode, and seeing that interaction that you get with Deoxys towards the end was super cool. It was super unique and like refreshing for the other kind of things that we've had in the games, because most post game content is just like battle towers or just rematches or
Frontiers.
yeah, Battle
Yeah.
Frontiers. But Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire not only had post-game Delta episode, but you could just fly around on Mega Latios and Mega Latias. Like, how cool is
That was
that?
also one of the coolest features, where you can see like an overview of the entire like world for like
Yeah.
3D. It was like so cool.
I absolutely loved that. Like, you're riding on legendary Pokemon that are also
That's
Mega
really
evolved.
cool. Yeah, I feel like that's really cool. I wanted to not to cut you off or anything, but I wanted to kind of like touch upon a few of the points that others have made. Like Sun and Moon, like you guys have had a fond memory of it. I like the general. I did not like the idea, like the new idea of the game, the whole like
No.
not like it like the trials. I didn't like that at all. I just didn't think that they were really that challenging, and they were kind of just boring in my opinion. That's kind of the same thing I thought with.
I think
Sun
that's
and Moon.
like a general consensus. Like the trials.
Yeah, they're just boring.
No.
Generally speaking. And the starters other than Decidueye, I mean, you know what was it, Persimmon or whatever? Yeah, Persimmon, right? That's the other starter.
Primarina?
Primarina. Is that the
Or Popplio.
pre-evolution though? Oh,
Popplio.
Popplio. That was
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we were looking for. Sorry. But and then what was the other one? The fire type one, the fire dark type.
Litten.
That like, is like almost like basically a copy paste of
Litten?
Embor. Yeah, Litten. I mean, like, it isn't a copy paste of Embor, obviously, because one's a pig, one's a cat, but they evolved essentially
The same.
almost looking the same. Like,
Yeah.
they and on top of that, that their ending evolution is just not good. Like, both like you're never seeing an Emboar used. You're never seeing with the final evolution of Litten used much. And I think that another thing was the Oras. I think the Oras was such a good remake. I think that they did a lot of things that a lot of the Pokemon community wanted, right? In a remake, the thing about the Diamond and Pearl remakes, I think they're just lazy, and I also don't really think they put that much time into it. The reason why I think that is because they were hyping Arceus. Like, think about this: the games were released in November, and look how fast they're already in who cares about Diamond and Pearl now, right?
Yeah.
And this was a remake that was so hyped. Everybody was so excited, and they didn't even Game Freak didn't even make the remake. It was another company that made the remake. It wasn't even it wasn't even the main Pokemon company that made all the other games. They didn't even make the remake, right? And and I mean, I understand Amanda has nostalgia, and I do too. Like, Platinum was my first game that I had in the series. So obviously I have a bias towards Platinum compared to Diamond and Pearl. But I mean, I feel like, just generally speaking, I feel like it was just a lazy remake. Like, I really think that it was just catering to that nostalgia, and I totally get catering to the nostalgia. But at the same time, if you've already played the game once, why play them again, right? Like, if
I
you're
mean,
not
just to touch on that a little bit, I
okay,
think just because there were so many hints towards it for countless of years that Sinnoh was going to
yeah,
eventually come back, they kind of had to do it, even though it was kind of like a little Easter egg to catering to the fans that played the games. I think
yeah.
people
And if
just
you're gonna
kept
hype it up that much,
begging him.
then you
Yeah,
should kind of give a good remake, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
especially with the fact that it's one of the most loved, like, it's one of the most like fan loved games in the series that hadn't got a remake yet, right?
It was also the
And
same thing with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
yeah, who like who
I,
played those
like
games?
it was
Those games
like
were also
after the
bugging.
first day of the game, I don't remember a single person who actually played it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like Legend, and again the same thing. Not the same thing. Yeah, the same thing happened again. The Sword and Shield came out,
Yeah.
and then it's like, I mean, let's be honest. Like, Gen Oneers are gonna hate me for this, but they did not need to remake the Gen One a third time. Sorry, second time rather.
Yeah, because you already had Fire Red and
Already
I
had
was about to
Fire
say
Red,
Soul
which is good enough.
Silver.
Yeah, yeah, Fire Red, Soul Silver. Yeah, no, but they like. I feel like the next, technically the next generation to get remade is gonna be Gen 5. Like, if
No,
they
Gen
were to
2.
do another,
Gen 2.
they already have one. Gen 2 already has a remake. It already has a remake. Soul
Yeah.
Silver,
Which that
right?
remake has one of the coolest game modes of all time, by the way. The Pokeathlon is fucking sick. I love the Pokeathlon.
Agreed. I think another thing, I can make a video on why but Diamond and Pearl's, like, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are a disappointment. They made the like the stake where you get to, like, kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Your Pokemon gets to go into the stage, and you kind of like do like a little bit of mini games and this and that. The I don't know the name of the thing, but the what's, sorry, Amanda?
The Pokemon contests.
The contest. Thank you. Yeah, the contests. Those were like so butchered in the remakes. In my, like, from what I played, it like I did I replayed through Diamond after I beat Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl on a ROM, and I genuinely enjoyed the experience of the Diamond, like, just the base game, than over the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Like, like, there's just so many things that, like, the diagonal, like, the fact that you can have, like, a circular motion with your character, and the fact that your character would just get stuck on ledges sometimes. The fact that at day one release there wasn't even any battle music. It was literally just, there was no sound.
When it comes to
Which they
Pokemon overall, I feel like most people they're always scared when it comes to them making a new Pokemon game. They always like want them to keep like the same shit or the shit that everybody loves.
right.
But when it comes to like for me, I like new stuff. I'm always willing to try a new Pokemon game that adds new aspects, and I'm not like scared to play the new stuff. I'm always interested in new stuff. But a lot of people are always like, yeah, I want the same old stuff. I don't want them to change anything. And that's exactly what they did in Brilliant Diamond for the most part. And that's why I ended up not liking it personally, is because I wanted newer things. But I feel like for, people who want to get interested into, something that is from older times, for people who are used to it, and for the younger generation, like younger kids who are like 10 to 12 that are interested in Pokemon
Yeah.
now, that it is a good game for them because it's revitalized on the Switch. There's a lot of aspects from base game that are still there. There's again the remade Underground, which gives you a little bit more fun to mess around with. So I feel like it is good for people who do want to get introduced to Diamond and Pearl, and then maybe they end up going back to play the old games if they ever get the chance. But for people who are like expecting more and wanted new stuff, it is a little bit of a disappointment because it's basically just the same game cloned over with a little bit new aspects and the game being a little bit harder. But for me, I really wanted Megas super badly because I love Megas as a concept and I think they're super cool. And they get full like the thing that is cool about Megas is again it's just another evolution, and so it's interesting to see how the whole Pokemon will change with this new evolution. And it's also like it's not completely broken either because they only last for a couple turns, and I much prefer them over like Z moves or Gigantamaxing, which I think are
the whole
okay.
Gigantamaxing thing was kind of a little bit. I didn't like it much.
I think it's cool because they get new forms, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it really wasn't as much as Mega Evolutions was for me. And I thought there were so many cool Pokemon that could have got Mega Evolutions, and it just made sense because there were already Gen 4 Pokemon that had Mega Evolutions, like Garchomp, that you could have just put in the game and then added more to. So I guess I was expecting a new and revitalized game that brought like new stuff, but I think they were too scared to do that because they've seen how people reacted and how 50-50 the reactions are. So they took the safer bet, which I guess again is fine if you're trying to get the newer generation to try out your older game and see how it was. But again, for me, I wanted newer things. But yeah, I didn't end up really playing the game for long. I got to like the second gym and then have not really found the time to repick it back up.
Yeah, and just to close off this point, I mean, at the end of the day, enjoy the games you want to enjoy. I think I think everybody agrees that we're not gonna we don't hate the people who enjoy the Diamond and Pearl games or
Pokemon games.
Yeah, no, this it's the same with it's the same with anime. We talked about Sword Art Online. So many people love to hate on Sword Art Online, but a good majority, I think all of us here do love Sword Art Online to our own extent. And it's the same exact for games. People are going to hate what they hate, and people are going to like what they like. And you know, maybe we can change people's minds. Who knows? But...
Yeah, maybe some of the points that we made might be able to. But yeah, like as I was saying, I think that the biggest thing that I wish upon a star that they did with Diamond and Pearl remakes is that they just they added a lot of, they could have done so much, right? Like they had so much opportunity to make the base games better, because again, people who love Gen 4 might disagree with me and this and that, but Diamond and Pearl, the base games, were very slow, and they weren't really like the original games. One of the biggest issues was the fact that, if you guys remember, that the health bar would go down so slowly. You know what I mean? Like whenever you were like fighting, just grueling pace with that health bar. It was just, you'd sit there for hours until your HP finally hits that.
You can change the attack speed, but you can't change the health bar.
No, you couldn't, and that was what Platinum added into, right? Which of course in the new games they had that new part, right? And don't get me wrong, I think that the remakes have some good parts to it, but I think certainly they dropped the ball, in my opinion. Especially outsourcing it to another company instead of making it their own because they were working on Legends Arceus. Like, I feel like the last two remakes that they've done, like, okay, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, excluding Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, right? Just the Pokemon games on the Switch alone that were remakes have just been bad. Like compared to I'd rather play Gen 1 on the original Game Boy than play like Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah,
and
Let's Go. Let's Go was a very weird concept, and I will never understand why they decided to do that.
Like, why? Like, Eevee and Pikachu were original starters. Like, I mean, like, yeah, and like there was like Leaf, like that they were, but like there was no need for that. And they also, another think about this: the only two remakes that have been on the Switch have been the buggiest games that they've ever released. Pikachu was terribly plagued with a lot of bugs.
The Let's Go games are kind of the opposite of the new Diamond and Pearl remakes. They were kind of like, we've had this generation for so long, we can kind of try to do whatever we want with a game gimmick for this one. And then for the Diamond and Pearl remakes, it was like, all right, we're too scared to try anything new, so let's just keep it to how it used to be for the fans.
I think they got discouraged. I think 100% they got discouraged from like the reaction that they got from Let's Go and like Pikachu and Eevee. Like I think that like after that they're like, you know what, like, we're not going to try to evolve our like way of making the games. We're just gonna flat out make it like a faithful remake. That was what their goal was, a faithful remake, which I don't think that's what their goal should have been. But yeah, moving on past
No,
the
to be
debate.
fair though, if they were to give it to another company, that's the only thing they could do was try to do a faithful remake. Because
Yeah,
if a new
the
company
other
were to try to do megas and stuff like that, it's not going to work out well.
No, and I don't even think the Pokemon Company would have even like Game Freak themselves probably wouldn't have even allowed it. Like they probably like because there's no way that the other company actually what I don't know what the other company is that made the Diamond and Pearl remakes. I'll have to look that up. But I'm pretty sure Game Freak still had some creative design over it. I don't think they had 100% creative design, like, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I mean I think we talked about it earlier. The fact that Diamond and Pearl only had 5 fire types, and they had a remake to add in more fire types, and they just didn't. There's still only 5 fire types. If you don't start with Infernape, your best bet is going for a Rapidash or a Houndoom. I mean, like, not a lot of people like to run Rapidash or Houndoom. Let's be like, there are fans of those Pokemon. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, like the core fire types, not many people are running those two, right? So, I feel like I just feel like they had a lot more room to evolve and not just make it so cookie cutter, like it's the same thing.
Us being on the topic of Pokemon games, though, overall, I want to know what your guys' sleeper pick Pokemon game is. Like, obviously, everyone has their favorite Pokemon game of all time that you know what it is. But what is your sleeper pick that most people you would probably wouldn't think is so good, but you actually really loved? For me, I already know my answer. I can go if you guys want to think about this.
Yeah, I might need a minute here to kind of decide.
For me, my favorite game that would probably be considered sleeper by most is Sword and Shield. I really like Sword and Shield a lot. I did think the story was super lacking, and there was a lot of other like lacking aspects to it. But I enjoyed Sword and Shield overall. I think the Pokemon were pretty cool, and being able to do special stuff like riding on your Pokemon and stuff like that was super cool. I also liked shiny hunting in the game. It wasn't really like anything crazy, but I think the shinies were pretty cool too. And the battle music in the stadiums was always super hype. It was a little sleeper when it came to story, but overall I think the game was very fun to play. I liked the new Pokemon that they introduced, like Dragapult. Dragapult's one of my favorite Pokemon now. And the DLCs, I liked the DLCs a lot. I know you have to like pay for it, and a lot of people aren't about it, but the content that the DLCs added were pretty cool. Especially the second DLC. I think the second DLC was super cool, and the way that you could find new legendaries and stuff was really cool. And just, I guess it was a little bit of a risk to try to give legendaries new forms, like with the 3 birds or like with the Reggies. But it was a cool, interesting twist. Not everyone's going to like it, but the people that do definitely loved it. Yeah, and I think chasing around the birds was also super cool in the DLCs. I liked chasing around the birds. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, like kind of expanded that, like the kind of ending topic you were gonna go on, and I think I kind of have my game now. The the Reggies, I'm a big fan of the Reggies, like the evolutionary tree, like the not evolutionary, the trio, right? The original, like the trio. I never understood why the 2 new Reggies are so much smaller. Like they're supposed to be golems, like they're all golems, and I never understood the logic.
I think they're
of making...
roughly the same size. They just look a little bit sleeker because of their designs.
Are you sure?
But if you were to put them up together, I'm pretty sure they're the same.
Yeah.
But my game would probably, I don't know what the general consensus is of like Black and White 2.
I mean,
Like-
it's a pretty fearful sequel.
Everybody loves Black and White 2.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty sure Black and White 2 is actually liked more than Black and White.
The thing is, most Pokemon games are pretty well liked. Like,
it's
kind of hard
true.
to like say
Have
what's
a sleeper pick.
I mean, the fact that we haven't spoke about it this much, I already have my pick. And
Okay,
it's
go on.
Pokemon Y, personally.
Okay, yeah.
Because
I
they've
think,
introduced,
I agree.
they introduced, well, obviously it's like our first 3DS game, right?
Yeah.
So 3D in itself was cool, right? Also added Mega Evolutions, and I think that was generally one of the best features they've ever added, in my opinion. Because it just brought better forms to Pokemon that really needed, you know, some love and attention. Instead of giving them like a fourth evolution, which would have broken the game.
Yeah, true.
I liked,
So,
oh, keep going.
and then some of the
Yeah.
city designs were generally some of the most well-designed pieces in gaming. I generally believe that. The only thing that really did suck about it is that not really memorable gym leaders, nor champion, nor Elite Four.
I like
And
the
main
camera
main
angles in X and
Yeah.
Y when you were going through cities and stuff like that. I like the camera angles a lot.
Yeah, like
the skating
especially in
mechanic.
this,
The skating
yeah,
mechanic.
in the central like town. I can't remember what the town's called, with like the big tower.
Yeah, I know what you're
The
talking
Oh
about.
yeah,
the
yeah.
electric
Yeah,
gym.
yeah.
Especially the camera angles in that were generally great. And also
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact that you can have basically two starter Pokemon in that game was generally sick.
Also, and I was, you know what? I'm actually going to say Pokemon X and Y as well as my sleeper pick. The fact is the first game that you actually were able to customize your character. I think that
As
was
well. Mhm.
that was a huge part. Legendaries were kind of sleeper. The
Yveltal? Yo, take it back.
Evolto's the only. Okay, yeah, Evolto's kind of cool. Xerneas is kind of sleeper. No
Yeah,
lie.
yeah.
I mean, the first fairy type like legendary, they kind of had to. They also had this like kind of tree of life and like the death like bird kind of thing going on. So I get it, especially because her antlers or their antlers is rather is the like like tree of life or whatever.
Also,
But
another thing that we haven't really done that in this podcast today is we haven't even spoken about spin-offs. We could even speak about the spin-off games as sleeper picks, because I remember playing on the Wii specifically Poke Park 2, right? Game
Well,
was
not yet,
fun.
not yet. Let Amanda get her chance.
Oh,
yeah, Amanda,
yeah.
go ahead. What'd you?
Well, actually, I was gonna bring up spin-offs as well, but definitely for the mainline Pokemon games, Diamond and Pearl will always be my favorite picks, like above everything else. But in terms of spin-off games, I have to say, like, I think Pokemon Conquest, and a lot of people don't know about this game, but it is one of the best Pokemon spin-off games I have ever played, honestly. Out of like all of them, like Mystery Dungeon, great games, honestly, S tier. Pokemon Coliseum, great games. Pokemon Ranger, great games. But Pokemon Conquest is such a good game because it's so different from the other games. It's so different in terms of character development and maps and strategy. Like, I know that Pokemon as a whole requires strategy in terms of battling, but this has like a different kind of strategy. It kind of has like that Fire Emblem aspect to it, but it still keeps in the themes of the Pokemon, which I think is really cool.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad you brought it up because I genuinely had no idea what Pokemon Conquest was until actually I googled it just like 5 seconds ago. I was like, wait, were you talking about a ROM?
Yeah,
Like a
Pokemon
fan-made
Conquest
game?
No,
isn't
no,
really talked
it's an
about.
actual game. No, nobody really knows about it. But my brother
Yeah.
and I both played it, and like we thought it was amazing. Honestly, even the art style, like the characters, like they're so beautiful. Honestly.
I
Before we
also
get
must
keep going.
I must like look into this game because I have not even heard of it like at all. Like it is so under the radar, I feel.
Yeah, no, honestly, I recommend like downloading an emulator because I did that on my old laptop like a couple of years back just to replay it because it was so good.
Before we get on to hard topics of like spin-offs and stuff like that, I do want to touch on X and Y. The one thing that I did really like about X and Y that wasn't even really about the gameplay was the ending with AZ and his Floette. I really liked that a lot. That story part of the game was so like, it was so like pretty. I
Yo,
loved
Alexa, play Despacito.
Please, Alexa, play my depression music. Play my depression playlist. But yeah, I liked AZ and his connection with Floette a lot. I can't really remember the whole scene entirely, but I do remember it was very like touching, and I liked it a lot. I always love when Pokemon decides to throw a curveball at you with games and add something like super sentimental, like they did with I can't remember her name in Sun and Moon. Is it like Lilia?
Oh, the main like person with you at all times.
Yeah, the girl in Sun and
I
Moon.
think that's her name.
Oh, Lily. It's Lily. It's Lily. Yeah, I liked Lily a lot. I mean, she was a pacifist the whole entire game, but towards the end, she actually stepped up, and like the connection she built with the main trainer throughout the whole story, I liked a lot. And then the ending part where it got like super sentimental and touchy was also very super cool. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, the whole like you were like in the cave with her, like when it's raining.
Yeah,
She
and
kind of
just
opens up more and more
it
to
was
you.
kind of like you had this like whole like goodbye scene that almost felt like the anime, like when Ash always has to
Yeah.
separate from his
Butterfruit.
yeah, from, not from his Butterfree specifically. That's a little bit more depressing, but
His monkey.
when Ash has to like separate from like his friends and stuff like that and go to the next region, that's what it kind of like symbolized for me and what it felt like for me. It was really touching. I liked it a lot. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's an aspect that a lot of people don't really talk about is the, story for Pokemon games, because they don't always stick out the most. But for the ending of like Sun and Moon and the ending of X and Y, I really liked those ending sequences. But if we're going back and looping back to spin-off games, I have always been a huge fan of the Pokemon Ranger games. I loved the Pokemon Ranger games, and they always felt very what's the word? Immersive. The Pokemon Ranger games always felt like immersive, like you were almost like in the game yourself, because you had to physically like spin your stylus around, and I always loved that. I would still play that game, like play those games to this day. And I remember specifically there was, I don't remember which game it was, which Pokemon Ranger game, because I think there's like 3. But there was one game where you have to fight a what's the evolution of Skorupi?
Are you thinking of Shadows
Drapion?
Evolving Hill?
Drapion?
Drapion, but
Yeah,
is it for Shadows
Drapion.
Evolving Hill?
Yeah, I think it's on the boat or whatever. I think maybe it's on,
Oh,
is it on the
yeah.
boat? Yeah, I think it's on the boat, and you have to fight this Drapion. This Drapion kicked my goddamn ass so many fucking times that I actually had a grudge against it. I remember when I was moving states, I didn't have much to do, and I ended up replaying the games, and then eventually also playing Guardian Signs. But I was so glad to actually easily beat Drapion this time around, because when I was a kid, I struggled so many times. He kicked my ass every single time. My brain just could not like keep up with the concept of timed attacks and just memorizing them. So I would just try my hardest to spin as fucking light speed as possible and always capture him. But those games were always really fun. I loved capturing Pokemon in that style, and they were always like mentioned in the anime as well. Like Pokemon Rangers were actually canon to the anime too.
Either way, back to I think I was saying before, Pokepark 2.
Oh
Absolutely
no! Oh
fantastic.
no! Oh no! Oh
I
no!
like Pokepark too. I
No,
thought it was
no,
really
I
fun.
like Pokepark 2, but he just drew out the repressed memory of the tournament absolutely kicking my ass.
Oh, alright, that was what I was gonna say. So right, I played Pokepark 2. As a 12-year-old, I was like, yo, this is the sickest thing ever. I'm making so many friends on Pokepark 2. Free Pokemon, that is. Not in real life.
Not in real, through Pokemon. I was coping. Pokemon was my copium.
Pokepark 2 was a copium for me. Not many friends. No, don't go concern for me. I'm okay.
I'm okay now, guys. I swear I have a ton of friends now. You wouldn't believe it. I've caught them all.
So yeah, like everything else is a blur, for the most part. Because I just remember it was just like a very dialogue-ish game where you just travel around and try and make friends, or friends with Pokemon, basically. And then you got to the tournament arc. Oh no, the tournament arc. I just remember there's one Ken Kelder that just flattened my entire Pikachu, and I'm like, bro, what did Pikachu ever do to you, man?
I think for me, I think the one I struggled with was Hydreigon. I think Hydreigon absolutely like raffle stomped me in Pokepark 2.
I don't know why they put these like 10-foot giant Pokemon against my Pikachu that's like 1 foot tall.
Pokepark 2 is such a like a unique concept to like Pokemon games overall, though. I'd love another Pokepark game.
Yeah, I would love it to see like a Pokepark 3 on a Switch, maybe. But I also have never seen the conclusion to Pokepark 2 because I got raffle stumped in the tournament arc.
I remember-
I will have no idea how that ended.
I remember the day that I got Pokepark 2, my sister absolutely robbed me, right? I was super excited about Pokepark 2. I was like, I want to play this game so badly. And then we got to the store, and my sister is like, I called dibs on playing first. And I will never forget to this day that I had to watch and sit and just basically fucking idle AFK on the couch watching her play Pokepark 2 when I was the one who was most excited about it. She absolutely stole the spotlight and took the game and played it before me. And so she also had the first save. This drove me crazy. Seeing her have the first save on Pokepark 2 and her save file being on top of mine drove me absolutely crazy. She absolutely robbed me. I will never forget. I will hold a grudge to the day I die.
And that's how a game about friends made me lose even my family.
What?
Yeah,
Hello?
So Zach's sister, I want you to know, till you are dead, until he is dead, what you did, calling dibs on that game, you will forever be
Like, permanently scarred him.
No, that is actually criminal. If you're like, I was clearly the one who was excited about it. I was the one who asked to go to the store to get the game, and she's like, I get to play first. And my mom was like, all right, well, she called it. Like, what the hell? That is messed up.
It's like when you call a shotgun, and then like somebody else just like sits in the seat, and you're sitting there like, but bro, I called that shit. Like, what's going on?
Does that happen to
Yeah.
you guys? Do you ever get robbed from shotgun? Usually whoever calls shotgun gets shotgun.
Normally, but sometimes like people will just like run ahead of you and just like open the door quickly and get in. And I'm like, okay, bro, like it ain't that deep. Like,
All right, well, those
I'll
are the
just-
same people who run to the goddamn lunchroom when it's lunchtime
True.
at max,
True.
like mock speeds.
It's like I don't understand. Like it's like these are the same people that like speed to get to a red light. It's like, all right, cool. Like you're fast. I get it. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to really talk about the spin-off games because, in all honesty, I only played the main games. I never really.
You didn't play
played
the
any of them.
spin-off games?
Not a single one.
All right, we're having
Honestly-
a group meeting. We're bringing out the Wii, the 3DS,
Yeah,
all the
bring it
console.
out,
We're
bring it
bringing out the GameCube so he can
6
try
consoles.
6 consoles.
consoles.
We're making him play against Shadow
That's
Lugia. He's gonna get his ass kicked by Shadow Lugia in the GameCube games.
The thing is, I always just kept playing the, like I would just keep trading my Pokemon in the main games, and I never really I would play them like the Pokemon game like of that year until the next game came out. Like, so I never really cared to try any other game because I was trying to catch them all, right? Like I kind of just like hyper focused, and when I was a kid, I wasn't the best at catching them all. So it actually did take me that whole time of like looking up guides and stuff like that. Like I remember I went to a Scholastic fair and I got a Pokemon Black and White, like the big book, like the wiki book that they used to make. And I just like reading it, like, oh, that's where you catch that? Like that's how you do that? Oh my god. I just sitting there with my best friend, Duran. Shout out to him if he's listening to the podcast. Yeah, it was super fun. Him and I just sitting there with that just sitting there like reading the book together, like sitting there on his couch, like, dude, you no, like doing the Reggie Ice and Reggie Steel and all that in black and white, sitting there like, dude, no, you're doing the puzzle wrong. Dude, turn around, go this way, like yelling at one another, like, no, I did it right this time, I swear. So it's just super fun, like that whole. But I never really got into the side games. I've never really been much, and then not because I out of like dislike for them, just I never really was interested. I don't know, maybe as a kid I was just interested in the main games really. But
I was obsessed with Pokemon just in general as a medium. So I always just loved everything Pokemon. I loved the anime, the games, the figures, the plushies. I loved literally everything that was Pokemon. So any chance that I got to do something Pokemon related, I would always take my chance. I loved everything Pokemon related. And I have also this repressed memory that I would like to talk about very quickly, that I'm also gonna like branch off into another topic. But to also mention very quickly, Amanda said her TikTok is popping off, so everyone follow her on TikTok at Queen Via with an E. Her video is at 170k views, so everybody check that out, please. Thank you. But to go back into my topic, did you guys ever have a moment in time where you got absolutely fucking robbed by someone you knew in Pokemon? Because for me, one of my cousins that I ended up meeting, I at the time was, I think it was a diamond. It was diamond and pearl. I had a level 100 Empoleon that I absolutely cheated in, by the way. I had the action replay and I got the rare candy cheat code and I got him to level 100. But I ended up, he absolutely hoonswoggled my ass and took my fucking level 100 Empoleon. And I was okay with it at the time. But then after I gave it some thought, I was like, what the fuck? That was like my prized possession. My Empoleon meant the goddamn world to me. He absolutely robbed me on that one.
Wait,
You
I
know what
actually
robbed?
have a story about that too. But you go ahead, Kane.
You know what robbed me of my joy? Right, listen here.
Tell me, please.
I had Ultra Moon, for example. The game that I put 160 hours of gameplay into. The next thing you know, it's on the ground. Just sitting there. And the next thing you know, my dog walks up. He goes, "Oh, a nice treat.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
Oh, a piece of candy. Yum, mom, mom, mom." So the cartridge got chewed up so much, so I lost Ultra Moon.
If it was a
I'm
Nintendo
just
Switch
there.
game, he would have spit that shit out.
This is why I really need a Nintendo Switch, not a 3DS.
Yo, get the upgrade. Treat yourself, sweetie. Treat yourself.
Literally.
Yeah, so for me,
Hold on. What
and,
was your pick? What was your pick?
Okay. So I don't have a story like that, Zach, but I do have a story of me being the one that robbed somebody.
Man,
she's a thief.
okay, so you're the finesser.
Okay. So this was back when I was about 5 or 6. My brother and I were playing. I want to say it was. I feel like it was Gen 3 games. We were playing like Emerald. I want to say he was playing Emerald. I was playing Ruby. It was one of the games where you could get Deoxys. I'm pretty sure it was Gen 3. But
Probably Emerald.
yeah, I feel like I remember it being Emerald or something like that. But early into the game, I got really lucky and found a shiny Poochyena, which I was really hyped about because I think it was like one of my first few shinies, like just full odds, like a random shiny, and I was like super happy about it. And then my brother ended up one-upping me by a long shot and found the shiny Deoxys. And I got so mad because I was like, no, that shiny.
That's absolutely nuts. To find a shiny legendary like that, that's like literally 1 in a million.
That's why.
Yeah,
So I threw like a temper tantrum, and my dad literally made him trade me the shiny Deoxys.
Wait, nah, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Rolled
You better text your mother and apologize for that right now.
Rolled and
No, I felt so bad when I was like older. I was like, oh my god, my poor brother. Like he says he doesn't really care about it now. I think I eventually gave it back to him, but but I was very young and I did not really have much consideration for other people's feelings.
Shiny Deoxys, don't mind if I do. Let me just cry for a few minutes.
Yoink.
It's like that meme.
Rolled
It's free
some.
real estate.
Truly free real estate. Yeah, no, my story for that. I've been the one who's been robbed, and I've been the thief. I've been more of the
You
thief
guys are
than I have
evil.
been.
You guys are evil.
Okay, so I had Pokemon X, right? I spent so much time on that game. I was so happy to play that game. I played every single day. I played with my friend every single day. And then one day I lost it. I couldn't find it anywhere, right? I looked for hours. Like this was kind of like a Kane situation. I looked for hours, for hours. I couldn't find it anywhere in the apartment. So I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna keep looking every single day until I find it. That game, it turns out, it was never found, but I have an idea as to what happened. It literally got squished and literally broke when my mom was cleaning something or something like that. And then she just swept it up and threw it out. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I don't know 100%.
Full of all our joy from Pokemon.
She's probably the one who bought it for you.
Yeah, she was. Well, yeah, of course I was a kid. I didn't have the money to get a $80 game, $90 game, but then me being the thief. So I used to do this. I used to like do a lot of trading with my friend, right? And I had one of those action replays things, right, where you got like plug into the computer, you plug into your like 3DS, and then just like hack in any Pokemon. You plug in the game, and then it goes into your computer, and then you put in any Pokemon you want. And I was just cheating in Pokemon, just cheating in, but I was doing it all for my friend, right? And then eventually, I was like, you know what? I'm done with this cheating thing. I got rid of all the Pokemon that I cheated in, this and that. And then my friend, he had spent like hours trying to catch this. Like it was a shiny Bisharp in Pokemon Black and White. Okay, one of my favorite. I said before, one of my top 5 Pokemon. And I'm like, yo, bro. If you give me the shiny Bisharp, I'll make any Pokemon you want shiny
Oh no.
with my action replay.
Um,
At this point, I'd already sold it. But he didn't know that. So
Oh,
I just
no.
took the
What are you,
shiny
the slave
Bisharp.
trader from Shield Hero? Hey, pick one of these eggs, you might get a dragon.
Yeah, I truly am. I truly am the Monopoly Man from Shield Hero, because not only it was a shiny Ponyard, by the way, it was a pre-evolution that he got from egg. He was breeding. He was almost like a perfectly bred Ponyard and everything. And I just took that shit and I deleted him off of my my
That
3DS.
oh my god,
And
that's
never-
fucked up.
Listen, buddy, if you're out there, I don't remember your name, whoever it was that I was talking to on the 3DS that I met in a random online battle that we became friends. Thank you very much for the Ponyard. Rolled and smoked. Later, bitch.
You hit him with a straight up like classic like CS trade.
Later, bitch. Yeah. Dude, no, okay. Let's like that topic. That topic I can go on and on about. I had a friend in middle school. I would if you look at my Steam account in the past, you can't do it anymore because like it's long gone, right? But years ago, my friend he'd be like, I'm actually a representative from CS:GO Gamble, and you just need to trade the skins to my bot. So then I would make my account completely private and change my name to CS:GO Roll Bot number 3944125, and the guy would trade it over to the bot. Rolled and smoke. Later, bitch. Thanks for the knife. The amount of money that we just took from people who were like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll trade it over. Bowie knife.
Officer, him right here.
Rampant.
This dude right here. Get him.
And then eventually my friend's account got banned. But because I spammed changing my name to different things, I was never banned. I got away with it, and I traded
Wait,
all
that's
the
really
earnings that
weird because that wouldn't really do anything, right? Because you have a Steam ID. Even if you change your Steam name, they can still track you by Steam ID, by
I guess-
IP,
yeah,
by if you've spent
But
like money with like a credit card, debit card on your account. They can track you
Yeah,
by so
that's
many
true.
things.
But the thing is that I was also using like alt accounts a lot of the time. Like it wasn't just my main account that I would use. Like it was really rare that I would use my main account, right? So then I would use like this was intense. Like we would get prepaid Visa cards, like debit cards, like those like $5, $10 ones, just so that we can put $5 onto Steam. No, we would get $25 cards so we can buy CS:GO, and then we would have this account, and then we would just trade the items onto that account, and then trade it to our main account. So this was like a whole this was like a mafia like underground business that we had going. And at the end of the day, all my friends lost they either lost their main account, they lost their money because they all gambled it away. I came out on top actually after gambling. And now I'm chilling. So what I'm saying, the end of the day is be a scam artist, be a thief. As long as you're never caught, you're kind of living life to the fullest.
All right, and
Yeah.
he's removed from the podcast. We'll see you guys on the next
Yeah.
episode.
um,
But
I'm
Like
just saying.
like and subscribe if
Like
you
it.
also would like to scam people. We will teach you.
Yeah, no, don't scam people. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. Come check out my channel over at Karitoru. Well, I teach you everything. I teach you how to scam. I teach you how to make the
No!
account. What like how to get like
how to get
fake
minted
phone numbers.
NFTs.
Yeah, how to get minted NFTs.
Oh, you
for
guys are
free.
trying to get us canceled with that one. The NFTs, nah, we're gonna get canceled for that one.
Just
But,
take a screenshot.
let's backtrack a little bit to our main topic of this podcast, that is Pokemon. I had an idea that came into mind. What was your guys' first ever shiny Pokemon that you encountered? And mine, starting off with mine, my first Pokemon that I ever encountered that was a shiny by pure accident was when I was playing Pokemon Platinum at the very early on routes where you got your Pokeballs, and I ran to a shiny Golden Shinx. That thing was
Wow.
my absolute pride and joy, an absolute accident, and the first time I had ever ran into a shiny ever. And ever since then, I've never run into a shiny without trying to like intentionally get one and hatch one through eggs and stuff like that. But yeah, that was my first natural found shiny, was a shiny Golden Shinx.
Hmm. Does anyone else want to go to
I
give
right.
their first shiny?
So this goes back to my favorite Pokemon, right? Because I didn't actually mention this earlier. The reason I like Banner so much is because the first shiny I had was a shiny the first evolution? Shuppet? Yeah.
Yeah, Shuppet.
The shiny Shuppet I found out in the wild in Gen 4? I think. Gen 4? Yeah. And then I remember evolving that thing into a Bennett, and it was genuinely the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. A golden tail, and it's blue, and red eyes.
I did
Hmm.
look at that earlier when I was looking at Mega Bennett. Shiny Bennett and
Yeah.
shiny Mega Bennett is actually really cool. I like that shiny.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I
people
totally agree.
underrate this Pokemon so much.
Anyone else have a favorite shiny?
Yeah. I was
Or not favorite
gonna
shiny,
say.
but a shiny encounter. A
I
favorite
mean, yeah, I
shiny
guess we
too.
could
You can talk
also-
about favorite shiny.
you could talk about favorite shiny. My first shiny. I unfortunately, my first playthrough of Platinum, I didn't find any shinies, but the Black and White. It's one of my favorite Pokemon in Black and White that I don't really talk about too much is Chandelure. Chandelure. I love that Pokemon. I think it's such a cool design, like fire type, like fire ghost type, and it's literally just like a big candle, or like the Chandelier. Sorry.
I have
It
a friend
evolves
of mine
from-
who's also a very big fan of Chandelier. He likes Chandelier a lot too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a huge fan of it, and another big reason why is because I was walking in the wild. I forget what route it is that you find Litwick the first time you find it. I was just training up one of my Pokemon because like I had caught a Pokemon that was like lower level already. And I was like, yeah, I'll just train it up a little bit. Go into a battle, and that's a shiny Litwick. And I was sitting there. At first, I was confused because I was like, wait, is that a shiny? Like, the shiny doesn't look too different. Like, you can kind of tell it's a little bit different. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's orange rather than the original purple.
That
But
was
then,
blue.
is it blue? Maybe
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Isn't
blue.
Litwick-
I haven't actually seen shiny Chandelure in a while, so like I
Oh.
don't recall. No, it's orange. No, I was right. It's orange.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking Litwick. My bad.
Yeah. So yeah, the Litwick is blue. So yeah, you are right. It would have been blue to start with, but like when I saw that it was like, because the difference is actually really small. The other than the eye being green and that like little bit of change of the color hue, it's relatively the same. Other than the purple and that, right? But then I caught it because I hadn't even seen a Litwick before to begin with. This was think about this. This was my first encounter with Litwick and Chandelure in general. So my first ever encounter was was a shiny, which I thought was I was so excited, right? Like I was sitting there like, oh my god, I just this is a shiny Pokemon. This was the first time. So then I I caught it, trained it all the way up, and Chandelure every single time I do a black and white playthrough, I always run a Chandelure for that reason. It's just kind of been a staple to my team ever since that. But yeah, no, favorite shiny Pokemon. I'll let Amanda go for her first. But yeah, everyone have an idea for the shiny favorite shiny.
Okay, I'm gonna preface this by saying that like I was a very lucky child. I
All
can't
right, like we
remember-
didn't know that one.
I can't
Yeah, from the
remember
Deoxys.
what
Yeah,
my
from the
first-
Thief Deoxys.
Okay. I can't remember what my first shiny was because I found a lot. I started playing when I was really young, and I believe that the first game I played was Emerald. So I found the shiny Poochyena. I also later found a shiny Wurmple, which evolved into a Dustox. And then it got to a point where like every single game that I played through for the first time, I managed to find at least one shiny. In Diamond, when I first played through that, I found a shiny Tentacle. In Platinum, I found 3 other shinies. I found Shinx, I found Ponyta, and I found Baneri. And then, what else did I find? I found Oh yeah, I found I found a shiny Kyogre one time in a Heart Gold Soul Silver. But I think in terms of the first one, I think Poochyena was the first one that I found because I distinctly remember my Golden Wolf Boy. But I feel like from an early age I was kind of like fated to be a shiny hunter. And if you guys don't know, I stream a lot of shiny hunting on my Twitch. So, but yeah,
Shameless plug.
I'm an avid shiny hunter, so like whenever a new game comes out, I always try and like research ahead of time the shiny methods and such.
You're
So
telling me not only did you get your own shiny and emerald, but you robbed your brother. What the hell? You absolutely
I was not.
finessed.
How
I
messed up
I
is
gave
messed
it
up.
back to him later, okay?
Yeah, after you got your own, you're like, all right, I can pity you and give you this back. It's fine.
No, I felt bad. I felt really bad about that.
She still laughs at him to this day.
No, I love
Hey,
my
remember that
brother.
time I robbed
Let it
you in
be
Pokemon
known for the
Emerald?
record, I love my brother. He's a wonderful person.
If I'm
Yeah.
bringing up my favorite shiny of all time, I'm not too prepared for this. I feel like there are a lot of shiny Pokemon that I probably like
Agreed.
that I can't think of. But I've always liked shiny Charizard. Shiny Charizard has always been up there for me. Shiny Greninja is very cool too. Shiny Metagross I like a lot. But since this was the first Pokemon that I ever actually took the time to get myself, like, and do the Masuda method, was Shiny Dragapult. I really like Shiny Dragapult a lot. Shiny Dragapult quickly became one of my favorites because I liked Dragapult as a Pokemon, and I took the time again to get it as a shiny through the egg method. So it quickly became one of my favorite shiny Pokemon, and I think it's really cool to like drag around with you too. He has a really cool sprite.
Yeah, I didn't really play much of I actually don't recall the what Dragapult looks shiny, but I've heard that Dragapult's pretty like generally accepted as a pretty good shiny. But me personally, one of my favorite shiny would like again I agree with the Greninja. I'm a huge fan of shiny Greninja, but I think that shiny Aegislash probably takes the cake for me. I don't know. It's just so I think it just improves on the design. Honestly, okay, there's an image was sent for shiny Dragapult. Yeah, that looks actually really cool. Um, but shiny Greninja or shiny Aegislash, they're like tied top two.
I think honestly, I don't really know what my favorite shiny Pokemon is. I like a lot of them. I think I go through like waves of like Pokemon that I like a lot more. And I think my current phase right now is Absol. I love shiny Absol so much. It's such a nice color of red. And I love that there's like a little bit of accent of the red in his fur as well. And
Mm.
again, not to not to flex a little bit too much, but the other day in Pokemon Shining Pearl, I was Masuda method hunting Absol, and I got not one, not two, but three shiny Absols.
Jesus,
All right,
look at that man.
we're canceling you. You
Yeah, you know
gotta
what? Yeah,
retire.
somebody in the comments or
Not
something like
one,
somebody
not
watching.
two, but
Not
three.
one, not
I
I
have
stole
shiny
not
Absols
one,
from it
not
too.
two, not three. I stole
But yeah,
4 shinies
I
from
stole
somebody else.
4
I
gum packs from the convenience store.
Yeah.
yeah, I found three shiny Absols, and I was like, wow, my luck is pretty good today. But yeah, that's definitely my favorite shiny at the current moment.
Yeah, I think that I was gonna say this with the whole like I never really did the shiny hunting. I never really got into it. I think the biggest thing is that I've always been the person that gets really like if it's something's too repetitive, I kind of just like lose interest. So then like I mean the whole idea of shiny hunting you have to constantly keep doing it over and over again, right? So I think that I kind of just I always lost interest before like I would be at like 200 attempts and then I'd just be like, you know what? I'll just catch it. I don't really care. Like I just stopped caring every single time, but yeah. I think that that's the kind of the end of the whole shiny topic. I think that shiny is really cool though. I think that shiny Pokemon are such an interesting idea. I think a lot of shiny Pokemon kind of get butchered though. You know what I mean? Like the same idea to what's your favorite Pokemon like shiny. I think the least favorite shiny could also be another one, but again I think that mine would probably be like like Dragonite or Garchomp shinies.
Yeah, I was
Not
about to say
the best.
Garchomp. Like
Gar
that's just.
Gar Garchomp shiny is basically not even a shiny.
Yeah, you look at Garchomp when he's shiny, and it's like, oh,
Oh, cool.
wow, I just found a normal Garchomp.
His Mega
Thanks.
Evolution, does look a lot cooler.
Yeah,
Shiny.
yeah.
But like just base.
But you had to wait till
pretty-
XY for that to be cool.
Exactly. And on top of the fact that like I think the Dragonite shiny kind of just like I don't know. I don't really like Dragonite shiny. Like, I don't like the shade of green that they used.
Oh yeah.
I also don't know why they made him green.
Yeah,
but
for,
I just
for
don't like
Garchomp,
green
it
as
looks like you
color.
just put his hue up just a little bit more.
yeah.
You just
Yeah,
you just put him into
True.
Photoshop and put the hue and contrast a little bit up.
I
Yeah,
kind of like Garchomp.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like I know that like it's not that much of a change, but there's like a subtle difference to them. It's
I
quite
kind of
nice.
like shiny Garchomp. I only caught like 7 of them the other day.
Yeah.
You know what,
like,
Let the
Okay.
players talk.
yeah.
Okay, I
Come on.
see how this is. Making fun of me,
You know,
I only
mean,
caught
not
like 30 of them back in my day.
Oh.
Oh yeah. You guys like yeah. You guys like just don't know. I'm actually one of the like best Pokemon shiny catchers.
I'm
in
actually
the
in
world.
the top 10
Since
of
freaking
shiny
bully
hunters.
Via today, I see.
Yeah. To get off the topic of you know, the shiny hunting legend, Amanda. I would say that I don't know. I think that shiny Pokemon can kind of be hit or miss with a lot of people, especially if it's their favorite Pokemon. Like
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people have this like if it's their favorite Pokemon and the shiny doesn't look good, they're up in arms, right? So
Yeah, but that's
I
for
feel like
everybody. If you're like, if one of your favorite games of all time gets like butchered, like you're gonna be upset, or like
that's true. That's true.
if you don't get your like sandwich the same way you always do, you're gonna be upset.
It is true. Sandwiches are pretty important for everyone's day to day, so that is a fact.
So if like I don't know, if something if you really like this Pokemon and it ends up having a shit shiny, you're like, damn, like what? This is my favorite Pokemon of all time, and now I can't even also shiny hunt it to get like a little bit extra.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that like shiny hunting especially takes a lot of time and a lot of time and effort to kind of keep like to keep that like mental fortitude to keep going.
Oh,
The
it
shiny's
does.
gonna get
It
there.
absolutely does. The only
'Cause-
time I've ever shiny hunted was in Sword and Shield. No other game prior had I shiny hunted, but in Sword and Shield, me and Amanda were playing along with each other. So when we weren't playing and when I had the extra time, I would just shiny hunt, and that's why I ended up getting shiny Toxtricity and then shiny Dragapult later on.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I think that like, I think that you guys like those who you know have shiny hunted in the call like I have it myself, and I think that in the new game Arceus, I think I might. I mean, I think I might give it a go.
I think
mean,
it's pretty
I-
easy in the new game, isn't it? I've
Yeah,
seen
I
a
think it
lot
is
of people
pretty-
I
running
think
into
it's pretty
shinies like crazy.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. I think it's a lot easier. So that is 100% gonna help. But I think with the whole like time consumption, I think that actually kind of perfectly transitions into kind of like the other topic of the episode that I want to talk about. This episode has basically been just Pokemon, which I've loved talking. I think
We're
that
actually
everyone has.
sponsored by Game Freak. Thank you, Game
We're,
Freak.
Yeah.
guys,
Thanks, Game Freak.
actually, Nintendo is paying our bills.
If we
so-
actually we're lying. If we show one clip of Pokemon, they're taking down the podcast.
Yeah, true.
No.
We are done. Even any music. But speaking of a lot of time spent in gaming in general, I was wondering what everybody, if they know what the most amount of hours they've spent on a game, and one and two what that game is. I can
Oh no.
I can
Like
start
the
us off
Pokemon game, or
No, just in
n-
general.
just in general, like the game that you've spent
No,
the
I
most
think
time on.
I think we should save this for another episode. Definitely. I feel like
yeah,
we
I think
You think
this
so?
is
You think
yeah.
so?
I feel like that's a lot broader of a topic than just
That's
like
true,
a simple
yeah.
like 10-minute
Yeah,
talk.
Because we can easily dive into all to the memories
Because
of all
yeah,
these games.
not
That's
only will
true,
these
that's
games
true.
like have core memories for us, but they'll also have like different aspects of them that we can branch off to. And also, this episode has been mostly around or not even mostly. This whole episode has been Pokemon based.
Yeah, so maybe keep it on to the theme. Well, there's a little bit of a tidbit maybe of something that's going to be on the next episode. Is the I'm don't get me wrong, I'm kind of happy that I don't have to talk about the game that I spent the most time on.
Same.
I've spent too much time on that game.
I
That
have spent way too much time on my game.
I would rather die than talk about that one.
I would rather pass away.
Perish. But I think that like with that and kind of our final thoughts, I think like I kind of want to go into like kind of a last topic of the episode. Like at least I think everybody kind of here is kind of winding down, so I think that the episode can kind of end off at this topic. But I was kind of wondering what do you think like the future of Pokemon is going to be, right? Because they've kind of already there were leaks already that there's going to be like there might be DLC for the Arceus games, for the Arceus game, sorry, and there might be DLC for the Diamond and Pearl remakes as well. What do you guys kind of want for the next Pokemon game? Like,
Honestly,
do you
as much
go
as
on?
I know it's never ever probably gonna happen for like the next 20 years, probably, I always want a VR Pokemon experience.
Certainly,
I think that'd be
100%.
so cool.
I
in
honestly,
the
I don't think
metaverse.
Game Freak will ever reach out to like. They would pass it to another company if they were going to do something VR related.
Yeah, true. And it's gonna be Gen 1 they'll remake again for the 20th
A
time.
lot of people have been
Yeah.
saying Arceus Legends, even though it's not like the greatest Pokemon game of all time and the graphics are still kind of shoddy. They've been saying that it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard from a lot of
Hmm.
people, that it's a step in the right direction. And like I said very early on into the podcast, that it's one of the only games where the point is actually do catch them all. But I think Game Freak really has this. They just always like to repeat the same thing, where they will latch on to a concept and then eventually get rid of it and switch it up again. They're never consistent with what they do within their games for the most part. So I don't really know what to expect, especially with Arceus Legends being such a different type of game compared to everything else. And Arceus Legends is considered a main game. I'm pretty sure if you look it up, they
Yeah,
do actually
it's
state.
considered a whole different
Yeah,
region.
it's stated
Yeah.
as a main game branch. So after, what is it, Sword and Shield, this is again considered another main game. So I'm not too sure what direction they're going to take after this.
Yeah.
Because they
I-
can honestly do anything.
Yeah, they honestly could, and I think that's the coolest thing about like Pokemon in general. Like you look at franchises that are still around, like
Because like the thing,
for a long time. Go on, Ken.
because like if you think about it, even in the spin-offs, they have like Pokemon cooking games. They have Pokemon Tetris, probably. Like everything that you can think of can be Pokemon.
Oh,
Favorite.
they do have Pokemon Tetris. It's called
Yeah.
Pokemon Puzzle League.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no,
Do
that
you
wasn't
see what I mean?
Tetris actually. I don't know. Was that Tetris? No, I don't think it was Tetris.
And then there was like Pokemon Cafe Mix recently, or like Pokemon Sleep. Like they put me to sleep for real.
Pokemon.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
for real.
yeah. Truly a
And
sleeper.
they even had their own league game. That's how diverse they
Hey,
were.
but
Yeah.
Pokemon is fun.
Yeah, that's true. Like the Pokemon Unite, it's pretty fun. It's pretty.
So
It's
honestly,
interesting.
they could actually do anything they actually wanted, and they can still like people will pay for it.
And this is the thing that I was going to actually, that was what I was going to say, is that you look at other gaming companies that kind of are stuck in this perpetual loop, like Call of Duty. You can't brand Call of Duty everywhere. Pokemon is kind of like for all ages. Like anybody can like a Pokemon game and be like, yeah, that's just Pokemon. Like look, these are all these little creatures that can be so easily marketed to a whole bunch of the next generation, and the next generation, and the next generation, the next generation. Whereas like games like Call of Duty, like I can't even think of another game that's like had this kind of like same game over and over and over and over going over again without really that much innovation. I mean, especially Call of Duty, that game is just copy and paste over and over again. But I think that the issue with like those kind of games is that if they don't change, then the core fan base is staying the same and they're going to like it, or they'll get sick and tired of it, and then eventually their core fans are gone. So like you could say like, well, what do they do then? And again, kind of going back to the point I made with Diamond and Pearl remakes, it's really not the fact that a lot of people, you're never going to 100% like have the fan base on your side as like developers, right? That's always going to be an issue with every game, because I think that a lot of people will have like their own like predetermined idea of what they want in a game, and if you don't give them exactly what they want, then there's a reason why there are so many like Pokemon ROMs or Pokemon like games that are made by the fans for that very reason. Like give the fans what they want. But at the same time, I feel like Pokemon is such a flexible franchise that they can kind of take these like Sun and Moon, and they can kind of and Let's Go Eevee, stuff like that. Like all these kind of like misses, like Sun and Moon were a miss, but like especially Let's Go Eevee, like they can take hits and kind of bounce back because I mean they have so much stuff behind them. You know what I mean? So I feel like that if they go to this idea where they just keep doing copy and paste, like let's just say Legends Arceus is generally loved, right? Like I've only played through the tutorial area. I just got past the tutorial area, right? The one thing I will say, I don't want to spoil anything because like everyone else in the call is excited for the game. Don't want to spoil anything. The tutorial holds your hand way too hard. I've never been a fan of tutorials that are basically forcing you to go to certain areas, and kind of forces you. Like I get it, it's for new players. I totally understand, but I feel like there should be an option to skip it, especially if you like. There's no way to skip the tutorial, and it's really slow. That's from the little bit of gameplay that I've played so far. That's the only complaint that I've had. And at the end of the day, I won't be able I think that until we all have beaten the game and kind of all experienced it, we won't be able to kind of have a kind of in-depth conversation about Arceus. But yeah, no, I think the overarching point is that I think that Pokemon should try to innovate like they're doing with Arceus instead of keep going back to this copy paste. I mean, I feel like if they were to just make a really good main game again, like let's just say Arceus flops, right? Or let's say Arceus is loved. If I feel like they make another game, going back to Gen 6, even going back to like a Gen 5 game, just they really need to understand that they have so much power and they have so many things that they can do that everyone would love. It's just about doing it, you know.
The one irritating thing about like the Pokemon games as a genre is the fact that Pokemon is so beloved in every single way. Like their merch sales and probably the views on the anime and the games in general, like Pokemon is such a widespread like medium and everybody knows what Pokemon is, that they could definitely take more time to actually work on the games than they think they could. I feel like they try to work on the games as almost as fast as they can so that they don't lose hype over when you're waiting like 1 to 2 years between the next game. But if they actually took like maybe like an extra year or two, even though a lot of people would be like bummed out about it, everybody would come back to it eventually. Everyone always does. Anytime they see a title Pokemon, they're always on it, whether they want to admit it or not. They'll either be on it to enjoy it or they'll be on it to shit it. But everybody will always think of Pokemon. Pokemon is such a huge just staple in most of the world, to be honest. I'm pretty sure most of the world knows what Pokemon is if you have modern technology.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like with their wide range, I feel like that they can do so much. Amanda, Kane, you guys have any final comments to kind of close off the episode, the Pokemon episode, the episode 2? You guys have any comments to kind of finish it off?
Kane, do you have anything?
I mean, for the most part, I think, like, there's just so much variety when it comes to Pokemon. That, like, we can probably talk about this for, like, hours on end. So, I'm just glad that we were able to finally finish it.
Yeah, I think that's a great...
Yeah, like I was saying, there's so many things to Pokemon. Could talk about the anime, could talk about each of the games fucking separately, what we enjoy about the games, all the different types of Pokemon. There's almost 1,000 fucking Pokemon. Like, there's so many to talk about. And again, like our core memories as children with Pokemon, there's so many things. There's so many things you can talk about with Pokemon. You can just go like on and on and on. And all 4 of us are very big Pokemon fans. So the conversation is almost endless.
Honestly, yeah. Because, like, we probably haven't even scratched the entire topic. Like, I'm pretty sure we haven't even mentioned our favorite starters, for example.
I didn't even get to talk. I didn't talk about fucking my favorite thing of all time, which is the Pokemon intro songs. Yeah. I sing those fucking every other 3 months.
And on that note, we're going to end here.
And on that note, before he sings all 24 openings, we're ending.
Yeah, so with that, I think that we will 100% come back to Pokemon, especially when everybody kind of has information, like played our Legends Arceus. So for those who are still have a lot of things that they would like to hear about our opinions on Pokemon, trust me, this will not be the last episode on Pokemon, I promise you. But I think with that being said, and with all the topics that we got over, the Elite Four members teams that are criminal, like locked up penitentiary time for these teams that they created. I think that's
I
the.
figured
I
out
think,
today.
I think, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
and
that's
if you
the,
wanna if you wanna let us know how you feel about the new game about Pokemon Legends Arceus, please like tell us how you feel in the comments, okay? Like we would love to hear back from what you think.
100%. And also, if you guys want to, if you don't want to comment on YouTube, you can 100% just, tweet, like, you just like, reply to our tweet about the episode 2, and then kind of just give us your opinions on either the episode or Legends Arceus or any of the topics that we talked about in these episodes. We want to hear from you guys. We want your opinions on, if you guys disagree with us, like, maybe you don't agree with my hot take that, Gen 4 is a slow game. Maybe you have this and that. We would love to have interactions, and we will try to respond to as many comments as we can, if not all of them. Like that would be probably a goal of ours. But anyways, with that being said, thank you all for tuning into the second episode of the podcast. Thank you all my hosts. Kane, where can they find you, by the way, Kane? I don't know if we
Oh yeah.
kind of went over that.
You can find me on Twitter at Kaneindspair. That'll be KANEINDESPAIR. And also on my Twitch. And I don't think I have any other socials. Yeah, I think that's it.
So there we go. Here with Amanda as well. Where can they find you, Amanda, again?
Again, I stream on Twitch. My Twitch is VIAE, just Via with an E at the end. And my TikTok and Twitter are both Queen Via. So yeah, find me there.
And lastly, Zach, where can they find you?
Everyone can find me at Zerenityxd. Very simple. Twitch, Twitter, probably YouTube as well. My YouTube name is actually Zerenity, so not Zerenityxd there. That's the only one that I actually got, Serenity. But yeah, anywhere else you're trying to find me, Zerenityxd.
And I have been your host of this episode, Brandon Karitoru, Karitoru. You find me on Twitter with an extra U at the end of that. Same thing with Twitch. And I think that's all the social medias. Thank you guys all for tuning into the episode. Have a great night, everybody, or a great day, depending on when you're listening. And peace out.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.